quantum eraser. He moves through the world with purpose and grace, destroying beliefs at a steadfast pace, asking what's science and what's math. His wisdom cuts through like tempered glass. They call him Huey, the quantum eraser. A master archer with bow in hand, his aim is true across the land, not just in science, but in every heart. He hits his mark with a steady heart. They call him Huey, quantum eraser. It's all too easy for him when he takes the stage. With every word he states, they feel the rage. His presence alone rattles that cage. The crayon eating numpties are running out of time. They call him Huey, the quantum eraser. With every swing of the cowbell, the illusion fades, and with each strike, the glow bursts, delusion degrades. Huey's treatments, they cure them of their plight, guide them toward truth with all his might. They call him Huey, quantum eraser. The hardest thing about being a glober is tell your daddy you're gay, also gay. That's why they need Huey's treatment. They call him Huey, quantum eraser. They call him Huey, the quantum eraser.
That's a mighty fine at picking in a grinning. Welcome to the show. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Throw it on over to Discord, see if there's any VC in the VC. Are there any VCs over there in the VC?
An incorrect VC,
Yeah,
celebrating NC, and an FC.
with a Napsy.
I went for Home Depot. I thought he was gonna. I thought it was too obvious for QE, and he'd keep play that card. So I think Neil got it.
Did Neil get
Flatsy and Neil for the win. Don't you forget me.
it? Yeah,
I even sang a little snippet of it for them.
I thought it was obvious. That's why I did it, so I could throw you.
That's what I thought. I thought it's too easy, QE, because he's not done it in ages, so he's not going to do it. I think he's going to throw me another Jaren.
That's too.
That's when you know he is going to do it, especially since he's so conceited.
Shut up.
We see.
Conceded it all. You know what I did? I screwed up, man. before I went on, I always put this at minus like 5.9. But what I did was I hit right before we went live. I hit 5.5. I did that, and I didn't notice it right when the song came on. Damn near blew me out of my chair because it was positive. It should be negative. It should be down here. Too funny. Hey, stop it. Should be down here. You see that? So that was, there we go, somewhere around there. So give me a radio check. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
It might check.
Yeah.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, no, we're good. That's too funny. I said, damn, that's loud. And then I didn't want to change it during the intro, so I just let her go, let her budge. All right, so I guess we'll do Expelled Part 2 today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before you move on, I was having a bit of a trip down memory lane. You know, we've been chatting about songs, and I've been humming this week the Easter song. Do you remember? Because I was thinking about old Flat Earth tunes that we've got. I know we've got Mr. Cheswick, but do you remember Easter back in the day? Had some fantastic ones.
No.
Favourite being, well, you don't know. You're part of the show. Oh. So I'm going to ask him if we can play it. But not tonight, but I'd like to hear that one, play that one again. Because I bet half the people don't even know it. But I do think it's very relevant, that tune.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And I don't want to know.
You do?
I don't.
You just don't know that you do.
I used to know.
I know you'd argue with him about Flat Earth, but the tunes were...
Hold, give me a moment.
So random. And in fact, I think there's one song about Ranty, is there not? A moment. That's it.
Well, when I say give me a moment, I say, take over.
Yes.
Take over what? The conversation I was having with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because like schizophrenia rules.
All right, go ahead. You wanted Flatsy to answer something? Go ahead.
You rang?
Well, it was a question, because apparently not, no. Captain Grumpy there.
Yeah, I ain't grumpy. Shut up. Just ask her a darn question.
Have you heard the song Welcome to the Show?
I have.
I could be wrong then.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're as underwhelmed as QE.
Yeah, welcome to the show. What are you talking about?
I'm going to send it to you. You're going to have to play it now.
Am I going to? It doesn't matter.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Shut up. Doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to get copyright strike to death again.
That's what I was going to say. It won't matter on this one, will it?
Nope.
There you go.
Where'd you send it?
I put it actually in BALLBUSTERS text in Discord.
Oh my goodness.
You see that? To make your life easy.
I didn't get it. All right. Is this from Isa?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, 1 second. Throw it on over here. All right, this is from Adam. His welcome to the show, whatever this is.
Welcome to the show, where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show, if you don't know it's part of the show. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged, caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish galloping wars. No remedy can save the lost, in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe is delight and a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. I said, welcome to the show, where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated 8 makes you believe you're spinning in space, while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate, how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate. No one to help me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates. But my brother, heaven could never be late, and rockets don't work in space. It's all fake, the show is on Mars. It's a joke, but you're too far gone, it won't be long. Fepe's beak is strong. We have our song and we march along, like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond, and lives of truth that hits the bong and sings the song, turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with a holy gown, and all of us wearing our holy crowns. So the earth is flat and we probably just won't get along, just to go along. I said, welcome to the show, where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know.
Thank the Lord that's over. He probably needs to hit the bong a few more times.
What? Leave him and his bong alone.
Yeah, that's suicide music.
That's not. I found that I enjoyed that back in the day, and I find the lyrics probably more relevant.
I never heard that song.
You know,
Me either.
Nope.
7 years ago.
And I'm thankful.
Like I say, with the, yeah, but I like that with the TFE stuff like that. Do you know if you're part of the show?
Well, thanks for that, Adam. Appreciate that. Oh God.
We've got more.
No, that's all right. I'm all full up.
Couldn't go for a chocolate saying song after that.
No, we're not doing any more songs. That's fine.
Not even ones that a fellow ballbuster did.
You need a
With a
QE
homemade
version. They need a QE version out there. That's right. Need to spruce that up. So, I woke up this morning to a tornado warning. How you like that? Nice little waker-upper for you.
Is that what screenshots were? I didn't have chance. I saw you posting it. I nearly posted SLC.
Yeah.
Then got busy.
Yeah. Well, they were from last night. Those are up a little bit north, up in Iowa, a little bit in Nebraska, up there in Minnesota and Wisconsin. But they had, stated that there could be some problems tomorrow. That is this morning. And so I watched the news late last night. Local guy here said, I'm not all that concerned about things. Storm should be coming about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they could be severe, but the ones in the afternoon probably won't because the cold front's going to come through. And I said, okay. So went to sleep, woke up. Storms didn't wake me up. I'm sitting there at 5 to 9. I said, there's nothing happening. What the heck happened? I guess it all went away. Nope. Boom. Sky started to darken. Friggin' phone started to go off. I said, you friggin' guy. So, had to take precautions. Had some friggin' hurricane, force winds. No hail, heavy rain, but the tornado went south of us. So that was my morning. I'll throw out some pictures of last night. Where did I put them? There. Did I put them in BALLBUSTERS? I think I did. Oh, I don't have them over there. There we go. This is during the afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, a little dark. Those are some SLCs right there. If you don't, SLCs, that's a technical term for scary looking clouds. That doesn't look good. See, that's what when I woke up and then went outside this morning, that's what it looked like. I said, oh, geez, man. Break. This one, you see this one, you're driving down the road, you see this one, you just friggin' about face and punch it the other way. You just don't go there.
That one looks right. See, the shot before, look, that was just like dark skies. That, because you can see the sky behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a scary looking cloud.
Yeah. It has a wall cloud right here, and then it has inner rotation right here. Yeah, you just go the opposite direction, man. If you live here, you just kiss your ass goodbye.
It's the bright sky behind it that makes it frightening.
What about that one?
No, that's just pretty.
Yeah, it is beautiful, isn't it? Oh, right, got the rear flank downdraft. It's all friggin' storming back here. This one,
that doesn't look real.
I know it doesn't, but it actually is. Too funny. And this one's not all that bad. You can see the cloud tops are headed up to like 50, 60,000 feet. You know that there's going to be a problem. Back in here. And then you get this bluish green tint back in here. That's hell. That's actual refraction, by the way. That's the sunlight hitting the hailstones and then actually refracting. It looks bluish green. Just FYI. This one.
A medium change.
So wait, that's real? Refraction?
Yeah. This one. This is just, again, about face and just punch it. Just floor it. Right? Just don't go back. Because this is your ass. This is in the middle of the afternoon.
Refraction.
Refraction, that's right. Bugger. Yeah, I think that's the last one I had. So that was last night. Like I said, it was up in Minnesota and Wisconsin and stuff. It was pretty bad. Then walked out this morning and I said, oh, yeah. The one good thing was the clouds weren't low. So I said, that doesn't mean that they can't get low, but there were higher storms. So you still get your ass whooped, but the tornado threat, like I said, it was south of us. So I survived. I posted a message in BALLBUSTERS. I said more or less, some bad storms rolling in right now. That was 9:48. If I'm not back, you know what happened. No one looked at it. Then I said I'm back at 11:19. So, well, that was my morning.
We got the best of British weather at the moment.
I heard. Well, I seen it.
70 degrees right now, Q.
I know. I seen it yesterday. It said record high, but you couldn't pull that shit up.
This is Britain. 2 decent days weather in a trot. That's a rarity, mate.
Really?
Oh God, that yeah. I mean, we get the odd nice day. To have one after the other, now we're starting to call it a summer.
Well, it said record highs yesterday because I seen it on the bottom of your tabs or your toolbar, right? It said record highs. You're sitting there, what are you talking about? I said, right there on the bottom of your toolbar, dude.
It says 21 degrees and sunny today. No records, but they're going to be for the time of year because it won't like the top temperature, but this is lovely here.
Well, I'm happy for you. Here, we're going to get rained out. We got the rainiest April on record, by the way.
You got the sunniest, as you'll attain to. Attest to.
One mind, one spirit. He says he's 150 miles north of me, and it just rained a little bit here. Yeah, they're mainly south today. Let me check it out.
If we're doing this much weather, I think I deserve another song.
No, we're not getting another song from you. All right, let's see what's happening.
One more.
No. So here you go. This is what we dealt.
Another week. We're going to get copyright strikes.
Yeah.
And then it'll ruin things. But you may as well ruin it all in 1 week.
So this is what came through. This was over here. When I woke up, it was right here, coming towards QE land. I said, oh, dudes. Right? But it doesn't look all that. I don't know what's going to happen this afternoon. Which direction these guys going? Here, I'll show you because it got back in time. Let's go back. Nope, it was right. No. Right when I woke up, that's what I saw. I said, oh, dudes. And then it's getting closer. I said, it's getting closer. Oh, man, it stopped. Jerks. It's getting closer, getting closer. Right? And then, oh, pow, it friggin' smashed us. But the tornadoes were down here in Springfield. Not too far away, but down here. So. Yeah, that's what you got. It's the United States for greatest country in America. United States.
Do you have a basement, Huey?
Yeah, but your sister hangs out in there.
We have no basements here. Now, I do have, there's a door that leads under the house. Will we be safe if we go in there?
No, that's a crawl space. No.
We'll be crushed, right?
Yeah, you don't go there.
Yeah, I won't go there anyway because there's got to be creatures in there that I don't know about.
Yeah, I used to get down there back in the day, try to kill all the ants and stuff. I used to throw ant grenades down there in my crawl space. That's when I can maneuver around a bit. I would never go down there right now. You got to get all the there's going to be spider webs everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So you got to make sure, right? It's nice. It's usually nice and cool in there, though.
That it is.
In the summertime, you go down there, you're good to go.
Yeah, what about the snake? We have a rattlesnake up here that I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's a little bit too cold for snakes. But in the summertime, you might get some to run underneath there, but not. I don't. It's not a good snake environment.
We don't have snakes. I mean, the Irish have got none, and we've just got crappy little like grass snakes and adder. But other than that, we don't have snakes.
The Irish got none because of good old St. Patty.
Yeah. You thought they tasted like chicken. Apparently.
Did something crazy in Hawaii when I was stationed there, right? I was in the woodline constantly. And I don't know, I never researched it, but they had mongoose. They imported mongoose because I don't know. I heard the story that way back in the day that they imported mongoose and let them free because they were worried about snakes getting into the environment. I don't know. They don't have too many snakes in Hawaii, but there are mongoose every damn where. Everywhere, boy. I used to get I used to get brave sometimes. On short field trips, I'd throw some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in my ruck because I always needed nutrition, man. I was always hungry. But anyway, I put a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my ruck. And some bitch, early in the morning, I heard something behind me. It was, scratching around and stuff. And some bitch took that peanut butter and jelly sandwich out my rucksack. Little bastard.
Mongoose.
Yeah, mongoose. Turns out they like peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
What, more than you?
Apparently. I chased that, so he still got away with it. But yeah, they don't have a snake problem there. They got a centipede problem there. That's what they got. Creatures from hell, dude. You get stung by one of them. One of my friends got stung. You got to be real careful. They're real long, too. They're about like a half-inch thick. And I got some big... It's not how long they are. That's not the problem. It's just their aura. Well, I cut one in half and set one on fire. He still survived. he put a bite on your ass. You'll know it. That's about...
You have scorpions.
Then I don't think they have scorpions. I never ran into a scorpion in Hawaii.
Oh, do you have them over there?
Where I'm at now, in Missouri. No.
Yeah. I got loads in Italy. It's really weird. It
really?
freaked me out the first time I went there. Yeah, because like we don't even have cockroaches over here, mate. Like you might have an earwig, biggest, you know what I mean? Odd beetle, but nothing of any like significance.
Yeah.
Certainly nothing as cool as scorpions. There's loads of scorpions over in Italy.
We had them in California.
Yeah.
They got them in the high desert in California, that's for sure. My daughter was playing on the floor one day with blocks and stuff. I walk into the kitchen, there's a friggin' scorpion right beside her. I flipped out.
No way.
Yep, I flipped out.
Did you move?
No, I crushed the son of a bitch.
And did you pack and move?
Nah, I was a little bit more careful. No, because I was on base. You ain't moving. So you just have to be careful. I walked out one day to go to...
Scary, but they're not. They're no scarier than a wasp. In fact, they're less annoying than they're easy. They're not like the scorpions in Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, you just have to be careful, especially around, babies and small children and stuff, even grown adults. I walked out one day and there was a friggin' snake curled up right outside the door, ready to pounce on us. What?
I have a healthy fear of yellow jackets.
Yeah, they're not fun.
They don't bother you, but the carpet bees are annoying.
No, no. The yellow jackets, they nest in the ground, and if you come upon them, you are screwed.
What's a yellow jacket? To me, it's a French protester.
It's like a wasp, but they nest in the ground. They're a lot smaller, but I feel like that gives them more anger. Like they are angry. I mean, they're angry. Let me just tell you.
Did you ever see how the honeybees lure them in? And they all start buzzing together and fry them suckers.
Jeez.
They generate the amount of heat of the sun and fry them wasp.
Prove that.
That's
Prove
baloney.
that.
All right, I'll go pull it up and I'll show it to you.
Ain't no 5,700 degree Kelvin. Even the surface of the sun, they ain't make, well, even the alleged temperature of the surface of the sun.
You know what they say in these documentaries? They produce the heat of the sun and fry the wasp.
You of all people should know better.
Yeah, Neil. All right.
Wait a second. You got to scale it down. They're talking about scaling it down to their size.
It doesn't matter with temperature, dude.
I'm going to get this video.
That doesn't make any damn sense. What, scale the temperature down to what? 50 Fahrenheit? Shut up.
If I add 50 Fahrenheit of B-bum to 50 Fahrenheit of B-bum. I don't get 100 Fahrenheit of 2 B-bums, do I?
It would be the heat of the sun in that little tiny area where they're burning the wasp.
That's baloney.
I've seen it on TV. It's got to be real.
Yeah, right.
Unless it's like beating the wings and the sonoluminescent effect where it just... That kind of heat of a star in a jar, that kind of stuff, Neil.
Oh, brother, here we go. How about with the bumblebee?
Carry on, unless you play Chocolate Sayings.
No, I'm not playing it.
I'm going to keep begging.
He's not here. I'm not playing it.
So if Chocolate turns up, right, we'll play it. If you don't, fair enough. I like those rules. Fair.
Maybe.
They're Scorpion. Whoa. See, no, they're not that big.
Nah, they weren't black either. This one was more or less translucent.
Oh, no, ours are black or brown.
Yeah, there's different types of scorpions, though. Some more aggressive and more poisonous than others. All right.
I would shit a brick if it was the one that was as big as your hand.
All right. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to do what the actual shows call for today. So we're expelled.
We're make sure we get the copyright ban.
Huh?
We're going to make sure we get copyrighted again.
Oh, it's going to happen within 10, 15, 20 seconds. I don't know.
Or was it multiple?
It was multiple, but they said, you're just not going to get monetized, right? They didn't take down the channel, obviously. They just won't monetize it for me. That's all right. I decided to take one for the team. So this is Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed, Bedstein interview. We did a lot. We did 52 minutes of this mug.
I thought that when you review something like a video, that they can't copyright strike you as long as you're reviewing it.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know.
This is a movie. This is the trouble. So it's the fact that the whole thing's out on another YouTube channel, which is what we were hoping for. We wouldn't get just forced to take it down because it's already out there on YouTube. So at that point, then we should be able to technically review it and keep our monetization. It's not a fight worth.
No,
it cost us more for $2.50, wouldn't it? That you'll have generated to actually fight it. So
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's a waste. I wouldn't do it anyway.
Not worth it. We may as well play Chocolate Saying Globe Model RIP.
That's not the reason. That's not the reason why I'm not playing it.
So good.
So back to Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed. As I said, Ben Stein playing their game, and we already did the first half of this video. You guys, it's the general theme. They never even get close to science. Nobody knows. No one's defined anything. It's just a cluster screw. And I don't have a problem with the atheist evotards in this movie because they do all the same. They've been doing the same thing for years. Just vague, ambiguous, hand waves, nothing specific, nothing with any specificity whatsoever. But it seems like they're Jedi mind tricked actual intelligent people on the intelligence side into parroting their mindless horseshit. That's what really aggravates me. So I don't have a problem with the evotards in this at all. I indict all the quote unquote intelligent design advocates and Ben Stein. Obviously, if you watch the first half, you saw me getting a little pissed. It's still going on today. It's the same thing. Same thing happening. So
that's the difference, though. See, I'm not a trailblazing mother crusher like yourself in this field. So when I watch this, I'm not indicting them. I did, like I say, with Dr. Tor, whatever his name was, that we looked at who's up to date. This is 20 years ago. And these guys are risking it for a biscuit and they're highlighting stuff. Stuff that's still below the level of critique that you were offering, but it was way above the level of critique that I'd been awakened to at that point.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah, so you play good cop. You're on their side. I'm going to tear them up.
Go on, then, let's play. Where were we up to? We've got up to about. I don't remember. What
It's
would we, what would we,
52 minutes, 28 seconds. We did a healthy chunk of this damn thing.
that's hot. That's over half, man. That's brilliant. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's shocking to me.
So we're in for the good stuff now.
I don't know if it's good. I can't remember what goes on here.
What was there was a word where I interrupted panspermia, and I went because that's the bit I remembered. That's the position that
Yeah.
Ben gets. What's his name?
Not
Dawkins.
Ben. Francis and Crick started that crap.
No. In this video, that's one of the bits I remember is Ben Stein getting Dawkins to admit that you can't get it on its own here, and that you have to go to a.
We haven't been over that part yet.
I know, but they brought up you. Was it you that brought up panspermia then?
I can't remember.
On that.
I think they brought it up in here. Remember, they had little spaceships and stuff. I think they attributed. If they didn't do it, they ought to attribute to. Now, I don't know whether Francis and Crick or Francis was the first to promote such an idea, but they backed it back in the day. I could tell you that for a fact. And then Dawkins and a whole bunch of other people caught on to that nonsense. Right?
I think that's too generous. Even though get hold of that, I kick that cat is the phrase I'd use there, because that's what it is. It's a
What idea are we talking about? Sorry to cut in there, but what idea are you discussing?
Panspermia.
As a listener, okay. What idea?
Panspermia.
People are fucking really pissing me off. Will you?
Would you like a definition of panspermia?
Yeah.
You don't. Let me type it in. But it's basically that it's
What?
germination spermia from somewhere else.
Why don't you get closer to your mic?
Am I not there?
Yeah. In fact, you got so loud, I almost turned you down.
It's because the mic's next to the keyboard, so I was just trying to help.
Get the official definition. Go ahead, read it real quick.
Panspermia posits that life or its building blocks, e.g. microorganisms, amino acids, etc., originated elsewhere in the universe and were delivered to Earth via celestial bodies like meteorites, comets, or even spacecraft.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Can we move on now? We're beyond panspermia.
In Croatian version saying also space dust.
Well, space dust too. Okay. So here we go. It'll probably pop up again. There is no doubt.
You use, how you teach it.
We never had that sort of way of deciding scientific issues in Poland. We never had the courts involved.
Oh, we're in Poland now. Let me orientate everyone. Yeah, we're in Poland. So he's one of the leading scientists, quote unquote scientists, saying that they don't have the pressures that they have in academia in the United States and in the Western world. So they're more or less running without all the nonsense behind.
So you are saying that as far as the teaching of science is concerned, Poland is freer academically than the
Teaching of science. You teach science, it's a scientific method. It doesn't take that long. Right? So you're still up, Ben, he's still off in Never Land, thinking that science is whatever the stories, the pseudosciences had established for him back in the day. This drives me absolutely nuts.
Meditation, Your Honor. If he puts an S on it, then everything's spot on. The sciences.
He didn't.
I know. I said if.
If.
Like I said, this is 20 years ago. There's got to be a slack. If he just says sciences, then actually he's describing everything correct.
He didn't. He said science, so let it go. He's a numpty.
in the United States. I think in this particular issue of evolution, I think this is true. But
Of evolution? This particular issue of evolution? What's that? In Poland, do you not understand how to define that shit? You're Jedi mind trick too, aren't you?
How effective are the courts?
Pause. The point there is, so before we were talking about how they control it, weren't we? And in terms of if you don't research how you can have a delta G interaction without, just randomly occurring, or you might get some funding. You try and investigate how creative or intelligent design may have helped this formation, you won't get funding. I think the point he's making here is 20 years ago. So this is like after the Berlin Wall. So this is like 10 years after all that. So Poland's starting to be free, isn't it? But it's still poor as hell. So there is no funding over there. So the guys aren't being guided by spurious grants from, dodgy places like the Smithsonian that's alluded to. They're just out there, kind of old school, researching honestly. Still within the paradigm that you've got. There's an issue with.
What the hell are you even talking about?
They're more open to intellectual research, even if they're to try and explore the idea of intelligent design. I think that's what he's saying. That because they're poor as hell, they're less corruptible.
What he's saying is he doesn't know what evolution is. They keep on surface puking this stuff, man. I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, but I'm not listening to that narrative.
I am. I'm listening to the words coming out of his mouth. You're looking at the big picture. I could give a shit less.
Okay.
Such matters.
What about the general idea that intelligent design is doomed as a result of several recent legal setbacks?
I think court cases don't decide anything. I mean, if you look at the Scopes trial, who won that trial? It wasn't the evolutionists. I mean, it was the Tennessee law was upheld, barring evolution. And yet, in the popular imagination, Scopes is the hero. Inherit the Wind, that movie, which is really bogus history based on the Scopes trial, has carried the day. These issues go much deeper than any decision by a judge.
The evolution.
The judge has nothing to do with this. This is supposed to be science. No judges. This isn't subjective. You don't come up with a guilty beyond reasonable doubt shit here. You're in a total category here, you numpty dipshits. See, and I'm indicted. I'm not indicting the atheists and the eviltards. I'm indicting the intelligent design advocates. They're morons. Get it? Don't stand up for them, counselor. You're going to get your ass handed to you.
Evolution debate does seem to...
Evolution? There is no debate. What the hell is evolution? As soon as you say debate, that should be when the penny drops. But not with you, Ben. Or anyone else, it seems. I don't know. They must be eating paint chips from the 70s or something.
To run much deeper than the courts. Much deeper even than science. To generate...
Much deeper than science. What?
This level of hostility, ID must threaten something at the very core of the Darwinian establishment.
The entire globe is today the site of a momentous conflict.
Not a globe, you moron. Go ahead.
You see, Neil deGrasse Tyson would see his arse at that. Look how lumpy that is. He'd say that's not to scale.
It is the challenge of ideas.
Challenging ideas.
I like Brian's challenge, which I've still not seen yet.
Has he got a challenge coming up?
Oh, a challenge.
Look at the cutlets he's got on the side of his head.
I'm Edward R. Murrow. For a little while, I would like to review with you the great conflict of our times.
I like the way he's having a fag while she's talking to you, look.
He ain't smoke. He ain't messing around either. He's chain smoking.
Look at the size of that ashtray.
Telling you.
Which demands and must get the attention and the involvement of each one of us.
This conflict over the principles of evolution.
What might they be? Fucking clowns.
Well, no, but that's the point, isn't it?
What's the point?
This conflict over the principles, like what it means, you mean? So you got conflict of even what it means. Yes, that's kind of our point a bit.
That's not his point.
Is that not what he's saying?
No.
A religious war. It really.
Let's listen to the whole thing. Listen to what he says.
Yeah.
And must get the attention and the involvement of each one of us.
This conflict over the principles of evolution has become a religious war.
Huh?
Yeah.
A religious war?
What are the...
That's quite an indictment, isn't it?
I don't know what
principles of what you're on about, you actually believe, has become a religious war. That's actually quite an indictment to me.
Evolution is a religion, but he didn't get all that specific, right? It's just, it's almost, you can barely you see a glimpse of it and then it disappears. The nothing burger.
Yeah, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It can't be right. There's no specificity.
It really is no longer about scientific investigation.
It is.
It was never about science. It's the whole point. Here we go with this friggin' guy again, Mr. Chainsmoker.
Total competition with an antagonist who is putting into it everything within his capability.
The situation has reached a point where many of evolution's top apologists have switched from defending Darwinism to attacking religion in what they say.
They need it. They're the ones that are neck deep in it. Good.
Apologists, that sounds philosophical as opposed to factual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what again I like. Let's replace evolutionists with ballers.
Mm-hmm.
They've stopped defending their ball and decided to attack flat earthers.
Exactly.
It's what they do when their position is not sustainable, when they don't have an argument.
Exactly. Nice parallel.
The core principles of evolution revolve around natural selection, which is the driving force behind adaptation and change in species over time.
That's horseshit. So natural selection, we already identified as a logical fallacy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yep.
See as a bid to stamp out intelligent design at the source. Richard Dawkins is the best example of this. His recent book, The God Delusion, has sold over 1 million copies worldwide.
The God Delusion is my long-expected, long-worked-on, full-frontal attack on religion.
Full frontal attack on religion? You're neck deep in religion.
He is going, I'd hate to be him on that day.
Yep.
To me,
but he's the guy that says Buddha's all right because he's just atheistic with regards to the Judeo-Christian God.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. I'd like to have him define atheism too. See if that makes sense.
Science is about trying to explain existence.
Science is not about how to try to explain existence. That's not what science is about. It's about friggin' suppositional insights into natural cause and effect relationships, dumbass. You'd fail third grade general science. Why'd you interrupt me?
Just for once, you missed a bit.
Missed a bit. Like, what was the bit that I missed? That's what I thought.
And religion is about trying to explain existence. It's just that religion gets the wrong answer.
But as Dawkins...
The hell is... Jesus.
What the...
Correct.
Right.
Our science...
God.
That is, you see, that's your straw man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Religion gets the wrong answer. What? With regards to cause and effect relationship within the natural world? That?
Yeah. No, he doesn't know that. It's just religion gets the...
Have you ever tried to put a screw in with the spanner?
What the hell is a spanner?
Wrench. Sorry.
No, I use a screwdriver.
What, the right tool for the right job?
Yes. Or if it pisses me off, I get the hammer out.
Good old America way to fix things. Give me the hammer.
Science and religion really at war?
For an appraisal.
No, science and religion's not at war. No. First of all, it's a reification fallacy with science. Number two, it's the religion part is the evolutionist part. You dumbass cracker. They Jedi mind tricked you. If they keep on saying it over and over again, religion. We're on science. Science, you think they're science. But no one ever defines anything. Is Ben Stein still alive? About to piss me off. Well, you've already gone past it, so.
Of this continuing and protracted conflict.
Shut up.
We can go to a
move on.
Who has watched the growing conflict.
Who gives a shit? Shut up.
On a complete historical
war
with each other. And in the end,
he carried on talking. He was about to burn his fingers. Did you see how close that fact was?
Yeah, I did. I caught it just before I fast forwarded it.
There is a point here. Just again. Well, I know, but you kind of jogged me back again.
There was a hesitation. You shut up.
Full breathing.
What else? There's another one.
Because Adam is measured. I forgot the rest.
Yeah, you always do.
I thought Adam had circular breathing down so he could continuously talk. I'm just kidding.
So you thought this is my Coriolis ship kicked in and suddenly I'm feeling giddy standing still.
There's another 5 seconds. Are you going to do something or what?
No, move it. I forgot. No, keep going. It'll have
it's going to be science.
You muttering right through his last statement.
Other. And in the end, one's got to win. And it's going to be science.
It's going to be science. So science is going to win. That's a reification fallacy. You don't know what science... I don't even know what side you're on. Doesn't matter. You don't know what natural science is. You're a schmuck with a tie.
It's a very naive view. It's based on a complete historical misrepresentation of the way science and religion have interacted.
What is? The way science doesn't interact. It's not an entity, you glue sniffer.
Dawkins seems to think that a scientific description is...
There is no... There you go. You'd fail third grade general science. Natural science isn't into descriptions. That's with natural law, not science. Descriptions. Actual natural science is into explanations, demonstrated explanations via scientific experiment. You're in a complete category error. Like I said, you're a schmuck, essentially, with a tie.
It's an anti-religious argument.
Oh, boy.
Describing how something happens scientifically.
Describing how something happens. Describing how. That's retarded. That's a paradox. Describing is to what's in the ises. Explanations are the hows. That's how retarded you are. Who is this numpty dipshit? They didn't even put his...
I think his name is Alistair McCraft.
Is that what his name is?
Yeah, I actually watched this in the movie theaters back in the day.
Alistair McCraft. What the hell does he do?
He's a philosopher of science.
Oh, shit. Doesn't know dick about science. Doesn't even know what the difference between descriptions and explanations are. What a schmuck.
Yeah, he's actually for the intelligence science, so he's...
Please don't... Shut up! Not you.
Okay.
Him. Shut up!
Somehow explains it away. It doesn't.
There's another explains the descriptions away. He's retarded.
But the questions of purpose, intentionality, the question why still remain there on the table.
Why for what? What the hell are you talking about? Listen, take the next 3 days off, then quit. Okay?
And I think it was just a catastrophic mistake to have someone like Dawkins address himself to profound issues of theology, the existence of God, the nature of life. He hasn't committed himself to disciplined study in any relevant area.
Damn, that was pretty indicting.
Yeah, and you can see how it is and how correct it is. Look how low he is in his chair now. The more truth he spits, the lower he gets in that chair.
Inquiry. He's a crummy philosopher. He doesn't have the rudimentary skills to meticulously assess his own arguments.
Yeah, he's got it. I know his name. I can't remember his name, but he's got it. On Dawkins, you're exactly right.
This guy, though.
He's a genius guy? Why? Huh? Can you put forth some evidence that this person's some type of genius? He's a fucking glue sniffer. Dawkins is. He's dumber than my cat's litter box. Shut up. See, now the time would be to say something, not fucking through me.
Told me to shut up, so I'm shutting up.
I told you to shut up after you talked through me.
You took a breath.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, yeah, he's a genius in school.
In school? Really? You sure about that?
What is he a genius at? He's certainly not a genius within the subjects he talks about.
Yep.
Because as we're now, what is he a genius at? Let me use an analogy. He's a grifter, isn't he?
Yeah.
And we see these grifters in all these areas.
Yep.
And he's the anti-flat earther here, isn't he? He hasn't got his own argument. Dawkins has descended into attacking yours. Can't prove his own, so he'll attack yours. Look at the title of his book, The God Delusion. He doesn't believe in God. Well, what's your book? It's like conspiracy cats, yeah? They're flat earth. Look at what their topic is. The thing they don't believe in. And the only way they can support what they believe in is to attack the opposite, yeah?
Well,
Not
the biggest critics of Christianity are the people outside of Christianity. Wouldn't it make more sense for the critics to be in Christianity?
The critics of what?
Christianity, the Bible, that like all of your critics are people who don't see the Bible as spiritually inspired. And they're the ones critiquing it instead of it being someone that would know that the scripture is inspired by the Holy Spirit.
I'm following. Okay.
Very smart guy. A little bit.
He's not smart. He's not smart. Shut up. I'm talking. He's not a smart guy, dude. First of all, you just said he was a dumbass. So that doesn't follow, number one. Number two, he's an atheist. They've got to be the dumbest people on earth. Didn't we go over that? We already went over. I didn't stop yet. We already went over the 3 numpty pillars of atheism. Do we got to do that again? Let's do that again.
While you're putting that up, he's an atheist with regard... His words, not mine, because he is a numpty. Yeah? He's an atheist with regards to the Judeo-Christian God.
No, he's an atheist.
No, he's a wanker, right? He's a liar, he's a deceiver, he's a grifter. He doesn't even know what he is, does he? Because when he asked to present his position, all he's got to gain is to attack Christianity, Dawkins.
Atheism.
No, he didn't say that. He said his words were, I'm an atheist with regards to this God.
Yeah, he did it within this video, but he's an atheist, period.
I know.
So the 3 numpty pillars of... Yeah, I know what he said for the 5th time.
So I'm gonna check the pillars. I like that, pillars. That's really naughty. Very aggressive.
Very naughty.
To other religion. Singular. Carry on.
The 3 numpty pillars of atheism, like I said, something could come from nothing naturally. Yeah. That's one of them. Yeah, guy's a genius. Number 2, here comes another genius move. Ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints. That's DNA. This is activated phosphates, nucleosides, and sugars. And directly violate the laws of thermodynamics, quantum mechanics, and common damn sense.
Well, there was somebody in chat earlier talking about how something can come from nothing.
Really?
And he said he was going to bring it to you.
Oh, let's see it.
Well, you there? You know who you are. Remember we were talking about it before? You said you were going to bring it up.
Come on,
say their name and give him a second, just in case.
Yeah, it was me. It was me. I didn't say something can come from nothing. I was just saying there's some biblical things that make me think that it's possible. It's just Genesis.
We're not talking about biblical. We're talking about nature.
Okay, then I got nothing. Yeah, there's nothing scientific about it.
Yeah, it would violate the first law of thermodynamics.
Which is what Dawkins is stating. So I'm going to go with 1. Go with that. 3, it goes. He's kind of suggesting that. Number 2, this is the killer, isn't it? Number 2 is the one that wrecks them. Yep. No one's dealing with this. It's been alluded to a little bit. It was alluded to a little bit by Dr. Tor last week. But this is the killer. This is the proof of a creator. That second part, yeah? And they're shit scared of that. Shit scared. That's why it's not being dealt with. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let the gentleman at least bring forth what he was saying. It's kind of interesting, QE.
What? What are you talking about, Neil?
The guy that just came in and you chased him away. He said he had nothing.
I didn't chase him away. I just told him what's what, and he agreed. So,
not Bible study. We've just got to stay a bit focused now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is pertinent because it's to do with the vid. I say number 2 is the killer, which is the proof of a creator.
It's a killer for biologist Richard Dawkins. It should be in his wheelhouse, but he's a biologist. They don't deal with biochemistry. I'm his huckleberry. I love biologists. I just whip them around by their short hairs and take them out back to the woodshed and just club them over the head to death with a nail spike 44-inch Louisville Slugger. They're idiots. Werner Heisenberg, well, most of them anyway. Werner Heisenberg, pioneer of quantum mechanics. The first gulp from the glass of natural science will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. How do these people know this? Back in the day? Never hear this, do you? Why not?
Yeah, never a truer word said.
Yep. Yeah, this guy, I've told you, as just take this and say, oh, yeah, it's on my website. I go through it step by step. Yep, that easy.
Of a reptile, but a very smart guy.
The opposing point of view in this conflict rests on a fundamentally different vision of man.
If you have 2 distinguished scientists, and in fact you can range many more on each side.
Yeah, show us which distinguished scientists are we talking about, John Lennox? You're definitely not one. I know you're talking about 2 others, but can you get specific?
As you know, saying exactly opposite things.
No, we don't care. This is how you know they're not scientists, John Lennox. Not saying, showing, Lennox, showing with scientists. Do you get it? Showing, not saying. Got it? Probably not.
That's telling me that the conflict is not between science and...
Oh, you finally got it. Between the conflicts between science, really? That's amazing, John.
Let's hear this properly. Come on,
let's hear it properly. I'll let it go through without stopping it. It's hard.
He's correct.
It's hard for me.
I know, but he corrected us, didn't he?
No, he didn't correct shit. He did, that was just a narrative gloss at the end to try to recover his train wreck premise.
But that, right, when you started, I was about to say stop, because that's the premise of what's pimped as science. That dichotomy gives there that this two scientists have showed different things or described.
No, said different things, Adam.
That was the point of my objection. Like the way you put it is one thing, but the way I was going to put it is if it is science, not to pick on the word says, there can't be a contradiction between the two guys in the way whether they're saying what they've done or whatever. They can't be if they're scientists and what they're saying is science. There can't be a contradiction.
Yeah, and he just exposed himself as a dumbass. He can't differentiate between the two. Why? Because he's been Jedi mind tricked by non-scientists claiming that they're scientists doing science because John doesn't know what natural science is. I tried to contact this gentleman through his people to square him up. He's got a lot of great arguments. He's very articulate. He's an intelligent man. But in this, he's a retard. You won't have any of it. I told one of his graduate students, I laid it out for him. I bet you I still have that friggin' email. I laid it out, as I usually do. Topic, 1, 2, 3, ABC. Number 2 topic, 1, 2, 3, ABC. Yep, there's no way around it. You won't face me. These people will not face me. They won't do it. They will not do it. Not that I'm scary, right? But I get laser focused. And I'm not Jedi mind tricked by pseudoscientist retards. For God's sake, man.
If you have two distinguished scientists, and in fact you can range many more on each side, as you know.
Oh, God.
Saying exactly opposite things. That's telling me that the conflict is not between science and belief in God. Otherwise, you'd expect all scientists to be atheists. But it's a worldview conflict. It's between scientists who have different worldviews.
You've got two competing explanations of the evidence.
We got two competing explanations, but go ahead. Go on the back part.
So he's not recognizing what science is. Fundamentally, that's it. Yeah. What frustrated me was I thought he was actually going to explain the point we're making. But he isn't. He's trying to make out that two competing scientists doing nothing other than saying things, which isn't science. So why they're scientists at this point? Yeah, they may as well be jugglers or bakers. It's kind of as relevant to their position. Yeah, or if they're going to be described in this term, so two eminent philosophers hold different positions, say different things. Lovely. Yep. And the way to settle it is with science.
Exactly. Got it. Yep. All right, Stephen Meyer, can you save everything? Go ahead.
But how could they be missing it, Huey? I don't get it. How could they be missing the essential part? It's like they just go right past it. I don't get it.
Because they've been Jedi mind tricked into thinking what science is, and they're screwed because they don't know what it is. That's what. Just let them speak. They'll tell you.
It's between scientists who have different worldviews.
You've got two competing explanations of the evidence. One
explanations of what evidence?
Says design, one says undirected processes.
One says undirected processes. But what does that even mean?
Both of them have larger philosophical or religious or anti-religious implications. So you can't say that one of those two theories is scientific.
One of the two theories? How did we get the theories? This gentleman has a philosophy of science degree from one of the most prestigious universities in the entire friggin' world, Cambridge. and doesn't know what a scientific theory is, ladies and gentlemen. Prosecution rests, Your Honor.
Welcome to Shangri-La.
Yep.
And the other is unscientific simply because they have implications. Both have implications.
People who tell you, for example, that science tells you all you need to know about the world, or that science tells you that religion is all wrong, or science
doesn't tell us anything. Doesn't have vocal cords. You're dead in a reification fallacy. This is just all nonsense, poking horn.
There is no God.
Look at this. Mathematical physics. Everyone see that? Cambridge University. Ow. What the hell is that? Besides a standing frigging contradiction, it's a paradox. Physical meaning physical, mathematical meaning abstract. They're both antithetical to each other, but you shoehorn them in right next to each other. That's what you are. Standing contradiction.
All you need to know about the world, or that science tells you that religion is all wrong, or science tells you there is no God. Those people aren't telling you scientific things. They are
that's true.
Saying metaphysical things.
I'd like him to define that. I'd like you to define that term. I'd like anyone claiming metaphysics. I want to hear the definition. I want citation with it too. I will guarantee you've got it fucking wrong. Guaranteed. That's my new mission.
And they have to defend their positions for metaphysical reasons.
What is being presented to the public is, first comes the science.
First comes the science.
And then comes the worldview. I would want to argue that that may not be the case, that it may actually be the other way around.
I'll bet you there's no science in any of it. Go ahead, Adam.
But that is actually correct. I would agree with that, yeah? You don't start with a worldview, crowbar the science, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. You start with the science, and that may help you form a worldview. It might not, will it, really, in the grand scheme of things, because the two aren't, it's not a direct relationship, but he is at least saying, I think that's an indictment, isn't it? He's saying actually modern academia starts with the worldview that evolution has to be true.
Yep.
Then we crowbar the science in. So
what science?
It doesn't matter here. Don't you just take away the point.
Conceptually, he's correct. Practicality, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That has nothing to do with this situation. Follow? Probably not. You guys are probably getting Jedi mind tricked by all this anyway.
That the
I'm not.
world
I'm just trying not to focus too much on their lack of understanding. I'm trying to focus on actually the critique that he's giving, and that I would agree with. Yeah, it's there.
Conceptually, I said he's correct, but practically, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Worldview comes first and is influencing the interpretation of science.
Influencing interpretations of science? Oh my God, we got this guy coming back. That statement by Lennox made no damn sense. You want to hear it again, Adam? Are you still counselor for him?
You shouldn't be.
I want to hear who he's indicting there, but I get the gist of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's described. Yeah, I think he's kind of. Every time, the emotive word is science. And if I can listen to what he's saying and substitute it for the correct word, I don't. Yeah?
If I could change his words, then it'd be right.
It's only one word, and it's the trigger word of science, which is where you then go, that's not science. But what I'm trying to do is go, I know that's not, but what should he use? The word he used just to keep his point is, yeah? And I think he's indicting academia here. He's saying you're all bent. You all have your worldview, and you're never going to step outside that, whether it is a valid experiment or not.
Jesus. You know what? You'd be like a good propaganda minister.
Lawyer. I'm not a bad pharmacist, actually.
My deep regret is some people are so deeply entrenched in their own worldviews that they will simply not countenance alternatives.
Super worldview and super attorneys.
Mike 808 sent a super chat for you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
I'm actually going to want a J here.
Why do you want a J?
Hear what he said. Yeah, because I want to hear what he said at the end. Because, again, smells like a baller analogy.
The J is going to get you back in with friggin' Lennox.
The nice guy with the brickwork. Yeah.
Let's go back. There's Lennox.
Influencing the interpretation of science.
Influencing interpretation of science. You want to go back there? I don't think you want to go back there because your client will get
the nice guy with the brickwork. I just want to hear what his final point was.
You like the brickwork, don't you?
Nice.
Yeah. That's about the only thing nice here.
My deep regret.
This needs trimmed.
Regret is some people are so deeply entrenched in their own worldviews that they will simply not countenance alternatives.
I'm actually a person of the left.
There's not an easier comparison to a baller there. Yeah, they're so entrenched in their worldview, they won't deal with it, even if you point it out to them in the most bleeding obvious way. A ball.
That's true. So you got now a definite person from the left. University of Warwick. Is he over in
Warwick?
There's
Warwick.
a W. I don't
Warwick.
I don't give a shit. It says Warwick.
No, it doesn't. It says Warwick.
What is the W silent?
Yeah, totally.
What about the first W? How about Arwick?
This is English.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't look English. Let's go back.
The rule of English here, put it back. The rule of English here, if a capital W followed by an A, an R, a W, an I, a C, and a K is ever put together, then you don't pronounce the middle W. That's the rule of English there.
Alternatives.
Stop peeking at
I'm
us.
actually a person of the left.
He's actually a person on the left. He's definitely not British.
And not even a particularly religious person. I think of myself as kind of humanist.
Oh, so you're an evotard, but your religion, you're neck deep in religion, son.
So he's got another religion. I'm not religious. I've just got my own religion that's been made up recently.
Yes.
Okay. But he's not religious. He just thinks of himself as a different type of religion.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
And not even a particularly religious person. I think of myself as kind of humanist. And I think it's sending a very bad message to religious people who are interested in science.
Religious people who are interested in science? What science?
That in some sense, in order to do science credibly...
Like humanists. Those sort of religious people.
In order to do science, what?
People who are interested in science. That in some sense...
Can we pause a second?
Jesus.
You've pulled up atheists, yeah, and it's easy to show how religious they are. In that, but again, here, this is a man who self-justifies his decriment of religious people because he's not like that. He's got his own man-made religion that's flexible. He can change it tomorrow, yeah. But he doesn't recognise it. But like the guys who talk science, they don't recognise what science is. This guy doesn't realise how religious he is.
Yep.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Angela Baby Carson sent, voting doesn't make a difference. Canadians, okay? Check mark.
They must be having a discussion in the chat. Thanks, Angela.
To religious people who are interested in science. That in some sense, in order to do science credibly, they have to leave their religious beliefs at the door.
Pause.
What?
Right. This is the worst thing. If he's going to follow his indictment of his language, religious people, you mean every single scientist, probably up until the late 60s, would be considered themselves, by his definition, religious. Be it Newton, yeah? everybody, there wasn't this disconnect that they're trying to put in now. Because to them, science was the study of the natural world. God was a given, to be fair.
Yep.
The two, didn't oppose each other. You were trying to understand cause and effect in God's great creation.
From Max Planck, Nobel Prize Physics, Where is Science Going? 1932. Anybody who has been seriously engaged in scientific work of any kind realizes that over the entrance to the gates of the temple of science are written, "Ye must have faith." It is a quality which the scientist cannot dispense with. End of citation. That is directly opposite of what Mr. Left Goober just said. I'll leave it with Max Planck. Why is he saying this? Anyone know?
I'm just reading it again.
Anybody who has been seriously engaged in scientific work of any kind realizes that over the entrance to the gates of the temple of science are written the words, "Ye must have faith." It is a quality which the scientist cannot dispense with. I'll let it out there and let you guys think about it.
I think of that two ways, but yeah, press play.
The founders of early modern science, Sir
The founders of early modern science are who?
Isaac Newton, Robert
Bacon.
Isaac Newton. Hold on. Let's get
Bacon.
Shout out.
Religious people who are
I like
interested
bacon.
in science. That in some sense, in order to do science credibly, they have to leave their religious beliefs at the door.
Shut up.
The founders of early modern science, Sir Isaac Newton, Robert Boyle, Johannes Kepler.
Newton, Johannes Kepler never performed a scientific experiment in their collective lives. Sir. So how can they be scientists? Good question, isn't it? How can you have natural science without experiment? You can't.
Galileo, most of these...
Galileo never performed a scientific experiment in his life either.
Early scientists, all
early scientists, all of them,
not only believed in God, but they thought
not only believed in God,
their belief in God actually made it easier to do science.
Easier to do science.
Yeah. See what I mean? Dude, stop it. You got one good point.
And
then that nonsensical gibberish. I was trying to think, what did you do if you was doing science in the 1500s? You went and got the most religious man you could find because it was easier for him. What? It doesn't. It's nonsense. Is it nonsense? I hate the. It's just bullshit to me. It's just nonsense, gibberish.
Yep.
Doesn't back up your argument. It's just belief, innit?
The nothing burger. It's absolute.
But the first bit he said was good.
Yep.
Yeah. There is no disconnect. There is no reason. Actually, the purpose of science was to investigate God's creation. It was a methodology elucidated to derive a cause and effect relationship between the two. But of what? Of creation. It sat underneath as part of man's understanding, not a replacement for the creator of man. It's not. It was never a methodology for that.
First Thessalonians, prove all things. Hold fast that which is good.
Religiously motivated, and you can do good science. And they have more often gone together than not gone together.
Admitting our biases is the best way towards rational discussion, which I would welcome.
Rational debate is a nice thought, but it's nearly impossible in the current climate. I'd seen,
especially in the category era, debating objective topics, for God's sake.
The chilling effect that this unquestioning devotion to Darwin,
the tanks give a nice motif, thanks,
has had on science. But were there other...
Science this, science that, science that. You wouldn't know what science was, Ben. And most of the people, I would say 100% of the people in this documentary, in this film, wouldn't know what actual natural science was, demonstrated. If it climbed up your collective arses and started spinning cartwheels and kicking footballs laced in Carolina Reaper lace concertina wire.
Yes? You called me?
Consequences?
No gods, no life after death, no ultimate foundation for ethics.
Nuh-uh.
No ultimate meaning in life, and no human free will.
That goes against quantum mechanics. You're in direct violation of quantum mechanics, sir. Dumbass cracker.
All deeply connected to an evolutionary perspective.
Evolutionary perspective? What's evolution first, and then we'll get that perspective. How about that?
You're here today and you're gone.
Nope.
Tomorrow, and that's all there is to it.
You're going to join with your creator. Nothingness.
Dr. Will Provine, professor of the history of biology at Cornell.
Professor of the history of biology at Cornell. You got this Muppet teaching kids? Welcome to Shangri-La.
Cornell University gave us another disturbing glimpse into where Darwinism can lead.
Oh, I was a Christian, but I never heard
You was a Christian. We could get into that, but it'd be too heavy.
anything about evolution because it was illegal to teach it in Tennessee.
Well, what? I like the Tennesseans. They were right. We should have let them rule the country.
Dr. Provine.
That's some good advice.
Provine's first biology professor changed all that.
He started talking about evolution as if it had no design in it whatsoever. And I came up to him and I said, "You've left out the most important part." And he said, "If you feel the same way at the end of one quarter, I want you to stand up in front of the students in this class and tell them this deep lack in evolution." And I read that book so carefully, and I could find no sign of there being any design whatsoever.
You got to be an absolute ignorant, dumbass, cracking Muppet. Right? My first look under the microscope in biology, I was like, well, that's a wrap. That's what I can remember saying that to myself. I just got it. That's a wrap right there. Didn't go on. I said, yeah, got it. Shit, I knew it when I was a kid. When I walked outside, 3 years old, seen a friggin' tree.
In evolution. And I am
what the hell is that, by the way?
Immediately began to doubt the existence of a deity.
Yeah, because you're a moron. See, now we get cross currents. Evolution and creation. But if you talk to some of these glue-sniffing fungus munchers, they'll say, no. Evolution doesn't have anything to do with creation. But yet, here we are. Evolution, whatever the fuck that is, and creation. What's going on here? Huh? What? Huh? Dumbasses.
But it starts by giving up an active deity. Then it gives up the hope that there's any life after death. When you give those two up, the rest of it follows fairly easily. You give up the hope that there's an imminent morality. And finally, there's no human free will. If you believe in evolution,
No human free will. If you believe in that which no one's defined, then you give up free will and stand in direct contradiction with quantum mechanics. You glue sniffing fungus muncher.
How do they not understand how, counterintuitive the things that they're saying goes against the entire human experience?
Yep.
So they're just being so counterintuitive and just backwards.
Yeah, they're dumbasses. Intellectually, he's a dumbass.
You can't hope for there being any free will. There's no hope whatsoever.
There's no, they keep going. Quantum mechanics is just piling on top of your dumbass head.
This is his religious chant.
Yes, it is a chant. That is physics, sir. Physics is pounding you into the friggin' ground. And you're just standing there proud, like, I'm Mr. Biologist. Yeah, well, your biology tanks with actual physics, son.
There being any deep meaning in human life.
Shut up.
We live, we die, and we're gone. We're
That's
absolutely
That's amazing. Prove it.
Gone when we die.
Dr. Provine is no stranger to the prospect of death. Nearly a decade ago, he was diagnosed with a large brain tumor.
Let's suppose my tumor comes back, as it almost certainly will.
Oh, pause.
No bias there.
I was sat quiet there for a reason, trying to figure out why. He's clearly an intelligent man. He's educated. And we're given the quote.
No, he's educated. That doesn't mean he's intelligent.
Okay. I don't need...
Objection, Your Honor.
He surely will have been...
You'll get it out. You'll get it out, Adam. Don't worry about it.
Well, no, Neil, well done. That's the best interruption and most succinct thing. Exactly. It's the best way of saying it. Look at what comes just come there. He's dying and he knows. And he's trying to reconcile shit. And that comes to us all in this point. When you realise there's a creator, then there is that point of, right, well, I'm going to have to deal with that, aren't I? Now, you can go through the little path that obviously is keeping him sane, knowing that when he's gone, he's gone. He's done. That'll be it. He will just go back to Stardust. Yeah? So be it. But he sounds like he's struggling. He's on a program like this, fighting in his last days.
He's going to merge with he's going to merge with his creator. Nothing.
Well, yeah, Stardust, mate. That's what he's.
No,
he's
Stardust. Nothing.
No, it's nothing.
Nothing. Not Stardust.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Eventually, he could hope for that full merger with his creator and nothing.
Full merger.
His creator was nothing, and he'll merge back with his creator. Nothing.
Exactly.
Like my older brother did last year, and he was dying of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease.
Pause. No. You know what's the sad thing here? Is there's a man, a creation of God, that's sitting there telling us through this film that he's nothing. Yeah? He's not loved, he's not created, he's not cared for, he's not cherished by God. Yeah? God's not weeping as he talks like that. No, you are loved, you are created. But he's telling us, I'm nothing. When I'm gone, I'm done. I'll be nothing. And I think that's really sad.
Yep, it is.
He doesn't know that. Yep. He has a creator that does love him.
I don't like him pontificating with his position on this shit. That's where I have a problem with.
I don't agree with it, but there's a dying man that is really...
Yep, I got you.
It's very sad.
He wanted desperately to die, but we couldn't help him die. I don't want to die like that. I'm going to shoot myself in the head.
Put a pillar over his head. Pause. Of course you could. You put a pillar over his head. And if you hold the position that you've just espoused, that would have been the correct humanist religious position, or just straightforward atheist position. It would have been the correct thing for you to do in your bullshit morals. Yeah? But you didn't. Something stopped you, didn't you?
Profound.
Different.
I hope these are empty words for my friend, Dr. Provine, because shortly after this interview was recorded, he learned his brain tumor had returned.
I don't feel one bit bad about holding the views that I do. There's not anything in the views I hold that makes me, oh, I wish I had free will, or, oh, I wish there were a God. I don't ever wish that.
Dr.
If he didn't care, he wouldn't be saying it. If he didn't care, he wouldn't be saying anything about it.
Agree. I'm confused on a point that they're using free will. I don't understand that. How he's using it. You get me? You're a atheist. You've got like the flat Earth is an atheist, as far as I'm aware. He had the free will to stick his finger up his nose, have a good root round, and decide to lick the contents off of his finger. Yeah, he had that. That was his choice, wasn't it?
I disagree, though. I disagree because atheists can't have free will because nature decides for them in their reification retarded paradigm.
Thank you. He's a free-wheeling booger eater.
Story was typical amongst the Darwinists we interviewed. Biologist P.Z. Myers, who runs the
another dumbass cracker,
the pro-Darwin anti-religion blog Pharyngula, says science eroded his faith as well.
Science, he doesn't know what natural science is. He never did.
I never hated religion. I found religion.
You're deep in religion. You're up to your neck with it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take this off here for a second, let me go to dashboard. Let me go to playlist. Where's that Evotard playlist? Just a break.
I don't know where you're going here.
What's put that? Of course, I won't be.
The loving God that you were describing earlier, Adam, is the type of God that would give you free will as his creation.
What?
I understand. I don't understand the indictment from their atheistic point of view to say that that to me would be, from an atheist point of view, it's not a gift. It's not there for a purpose. It's just a thing because, yeah, the only thing is you're in free will. Yeah, that's all there is. You to control what you do. So it's a strange thing for people that don't believe in God to mention.
Wonder where I put that. Looking for the PZ Myers video. Where did I put that? I bet you it's in here. Right there. Professor P.Z. Myers and Semi-Atheist Roundtable. I took him to shreds. Just tore his ass to pieces. Right here. After Bones? So if you guys want to view this, it's in special editions on my channel.
Is he the guy with the nice PC?
With the nice what?
I'm sure I remember that name kicking around into the flat Earth stuff. I know you've got previous history beef with him, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is he like one of these guys like Cream of Wheat that bounced into the flat Earth arena as well and gave his 2 pennyworth on that?
No, he didn't. He never bounced. No, he never.
Did he not?
He never did. No.
Quite comfortable, and I liked the people in it. What led to the atheism was learning more about science, learning more about
science. Like what?
Like right. Humour me. just pull up the quote. What's waiting?
Yeah,
at the
I
end?
know. I was gonna do it. I thought you read my mind. Right here. Werner Heisenberg, pioneer of quantum mechanics. The first gulp from the glass of natural science will turn you into an atheist, but the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. He never got to the bottom. He's still up. His straw's not even in the glass yet. P.Z. Myers.
Well, but that's the previous bloke as well, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, even though he's facing imminent death, he can't finish the book. Yeah, finish the cup. And
he can't finish. He doesn't know what he doesn't know what a cup is.
The natural world and seeing these horrible conflicts with religion.
And it was then when I discovered evolution, when I discovered Darwin.
You discovered evolutionism. What the hell is that?
Yeah. It was under the stairs. His dad had put it in an old shoebox.
I realized there's this magnificently elegant, stunningly elegant.
With the stunning, magnificent, stunning elegance of nothing burger. Nothing, because you got nothing. It's not elegant. It's not magnificent. It's fucking nothing burger. You've got absolutely nothing. Zero. Less than zero. You're a pseudoscientist moron, son.
Explanation.
Yeah, I got any explanations, dumbass. Go find Witsit. You can have competing explanations.
Which I didn't quite understand to begin with. When I did understand it, then that finally killed off my remaining religious faith.
No, and you step right into another one. Right up to your neck.
I listened to it. Listen to it. It's delusional, mate.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah?
Yep.
It's absolutely bonkers. He's somebody, yeah, who's scared of God again. So I used science and the definition that I didn't understand. Get off God.
After hearing these stories, I was not surprised to discover that most evolutionary biologists share
evolutionary biologists. That's a contradiction in terms.
Professor Dawkins' views. It appears Darwinism does lead to atheism, despite what Eugenie Scott would have us believe.
And if you separate out the ethical message from religion, what have you got left?
Your sister.
You got a bunch of fairy tales, right?
I think that God is about as unlikely.
Or history. But look, that's the biggest straw man, isn't it?
Look at his fucking.
So if you give me refraction, what have you got left? Other than your flat earth measurements. You pitched it. Yeah. What is that? These are desperate ballers, aren't they?
Yep.
Just convincing themselves. With no actual real argument, is it?
Baltards are actually evotards in evotard clothing.
But the problem here is not just that. The problem here is that all of these people are baltards.
Yep.
Their whole worldview is shaped and sculpted through a paradigm of infinite universe, galaxies, balls of gas and vacuums. Like this type of worldview is what leads to this moronic discussion that we're listening to.
Yeah, heliocentrism.
You're hiding from God.
Heliocentrism at the heart is what you said. Yes? Thanks.
Fairies, angels, hobgoblins, etc.
Hobgoblins.
Religion.
Jesus.
I mean,
that's his
Where are
name.
the hobgoblins?
I don't know. But there's another dumbass cracker right here. Friggin' Professor of Chemistry. That's his name. Peter Atkins, dumbass. Wonder if he's still around. Can mule kick him. Easy. I'll compromise you within 10 seconds. It's easy with educated people to compromise them. Quick.
It's just fantasy, basically.
That's what, yeah, your religion is fantasy, correct.
It's completely empty of any...
Yes, correct.
Explanatory.
What's it? What's he on about? Protein folding?
No.
Or what? No.
No.
What? Religion in a hand wave dismissal? It's just fantasy. Which one? Mormonism?
Know.
Is he having a dig at the Mormons?
Could be. You never know.
The Moonies. He's probably talking about the Moonies.
Could be the Moonies.
And it
lacks specificity.
It's evil as well.
There's evil.
Oh.
There's evil from a scientist. There's evil. Look at this glue sniffer.
That's my point.
How could there be evil in their worldview? How could there even be evil in their worldview? It's whatever everybody thinks is moral. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so subjective for him to even utter the word evil is counterintuitive to his supposed paradigm.
He's indicted himself. The way in which he describes it, he invokes God to describe it. It's brilliant. You spastic.
He wants to borrow from a Christian's worldview to describe his own.
To describe how silly we are, he describes the antithesis of God to describe us. You're gonna have the opposite. You've got to have the contra, haven't you? So his whole description is based on the existence of God. And then juxtaposes the existence of God against the devil, pointing out that us believing in God is evil. It's beyond spastic. I was correct. It's actually beyond it. It's retarded, as well as an indictment that he actually does believe in God at a subconscious level, because that's how he describes things. See, no intelligence allowed. It's probably...
So let me get this straight. There's no God, right? We evolved. So through evolution, somehow we have morality? Okay.
Half the people in this country think that drugs is what you have to regulate to make us safer, and half the people think guns, that's what you got to regulate to make us safer. But I always think if you're going to regulate one thing that has the most potential to cause death and destruction, religion. You got to start with religion.
There you go. Well, start with evolution. Yeah, start with evolution because that's a religion. So let's start there.
This is the woke wankery. So remember, this is 20 years ago. This is the attack on us, yeah, on our society that began in the late 70s, early 80s, into the north, all the way through. This is the kind of woke nonsense bullshit that if you were into science, you should be rejecting this stuff. It's perverting your mind. This is really bad stuff.
No, I kind of agree. I don't have a religion, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Give it a J and listen, just put it into context. This is how, yeah, you get to purple hair, yeah, and the belief that a man can have their body mutilated and but then designed and called the opposite gender. This is the seeds of this bullshit, yeah, the most ungodly stuff to convince you. Because how do you convince yourselves to do that if you know you're created? You can only do that by A, blaming God, therefore accepting God, or B, thinking it's just a thing. It's just a thing, yeah, and therefore I can change it because I've got free will, you know. But this is part of the attack on, and this is what's nice about 2025, QA. This is the first time you've seen mainstream pushback. I know we're attacking guys here, but they're the brave pioneers that lost their jobs and phrase things in ways, yeah, that we may take argument with. They're not strong enough now, yeah, but back in the day, they're actually why we're here, I think. The defense rests.
Speak for yourself.
What you got to regulate to make us safer. But I always think
pause.
One thing.
I'll give you kudos. You've argued with these guys, discussed with them, and I've heard you, and you don't talk like you talk now. You called them all sir, and were really eloquent, yeah, as you put your, yeah. So I've got no problem with that. You were there. I can see your beef. My initial point was, look at how they've tried to bend our minds and twist us. These are TED Talky kind of shit where they're trying to make you think just because your TV works or you get emails, science, God doesn't exist. Wankers who don't know their arse from their elbow or haven't finished the corp telling you what they've learned halfway down for a good pint.
They've made QE bitter. He's an ornery old man now.
No, I'm saying he's entitled to have a go at them. I'm not, yeah? Because he's argued with them. Where are they now?
He changed his tune since he met Trump.
That has the most potential to cause death and destruction? Religion. You gotta start with religion and...
It's wankers! Yeah, they're clapping. Religion. Yay! Fuck religion. What is that? That's the wokery bullshit that killed comedy. Virtue signaling. I'm getting on the right
is
one.
an idea that gives some people comfort, and we don't want to take it away from them. It's like knitting. People like to knit. You know, we're not going to take their knitting needles away. We're not going to take away their churches. But what we have to do is get it to a place where religion is treated at the level it should be treated. That is.
I hate that word religion. I am not in a religion. I am in a relationship with my creator.
That's...
I agree. Religion kills.
Yeah, I know.
What about knitting for Jesus? How would he summarize that?
Well, we need to put the religions where they should be. So let's take evolution and put it where it should be, because that's the religion.
That's the one world religion. You got it right.
That was it. You know, earlier when I interjected and then over-interjected, and then we had that, ooh, you was getting a bit that was it. This is proper projection on their part, isn't it? This is why they have to attack us. It's a bit like attack us, what's the horizon, back in the day with the ballers. These guys are doing the same thing so that they don't have to admit how fundy fuck-wittery they are, the religious evotards. Attack us. We're religious. We believe in a creator that we can prove. Therefore, it's not religion.
Stop muttering.
That people get together and do on the weekend and really doesn't affect their life as much as it has been so far.
So, what would the world look like if Dr. Myers got his wish?
Greater science literacy, which is going to...
Greater science literacy from where? Not from you. You don't know what it is.
Who said science couldn't read? I mean, I'd agree with that. And I think science to get literate is probably an impossible task. Even like Billy Blue Hat. You couldn't give science book. Billy Blue Hat, yeah, read that book. You couldn't do it. Johnny and Jennifer couldn't do it. Can't freaking read, can it, science, pal? What are you on about?
He doesn't.
You're hoping for the impossible or chatting shit.
He doesn't know. Next thing, his eye's going to roll back in the head. His freaking head's going to spin around 30 times.
Erosion of religion. And then we'll get this nice positive feedback mechanism going, where as religion slowly fades away, we get more and more...
Religion, evotardia, slowly fades away. That's what we want, yes.
More science to replace it.
And then science replaces it. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. What they're actually on about is taking away spirituality from the people, aren't they? They listen to what this is what I hope for. Eventually, I can prove that iPhone, by the time we get to the iPhone 20, people will be convinced there's no God because of science. What? That is weird. By demonstrating science, we will erode religion. Is his way of thinking? Like I say, it's not commensurate with the past. It seems to be a new objective for those that use the word science, where they're like the baller. Instead of demonstrating their ball, they use it as a tool to attack what we're saying and demonstrate. It's very telling response, that one, QA.
Yeah, from the Professor Michael Ruse, who showed his, remember, he was the life started on the backs of crystals, idiot dumbass, is right here. Professor Michael Ruse, a philosopher of biology, whatever the hell that is, has debated creationist ID proponents Stephen Meyer, William Dembski, and Professor Duane Gish, and others on the national circuit for 40 years. Ruse was a key witness for the plaintiff for the landmark and nationally followed case McLean versus Arkansas in 1981, where creation science in the classroom was being argued. So he's not your average Joe Evotard. He's one of your pseudoscience priests, even yours, P.Z. Myers, idiot crayon muncher. Let's listen to what he had to say. Professor Michael Ruse, How Evolution Became a Religion, from the National Post, May 13th, year 2000. Evolution is promoted by its practitioners as more than mere science. Evolution is promulgated as an ideology, a secular religion, a full-fledged alternative to Christianity with meaning and morality. I am an ardent evolutionist and the next Christian, but I must admit that in this one complaint, Mr. Gish is one but of many to make it. The literalists are absolutely right. Evolution is a religion. This was true of evolution in the beginning, and is true of evolution still today. End of citation. Michael Ruse, professor of biology. So, what is... See all these cross currents, contradictions, and paradoxes? They're talking about themselves, ladies and gentlemen. They're that stupid.
It's called this, isn't it? Right. So, like I say, bring your argument to that there's no creator to me, and I'll listen to it, okay? Prove your case, okay? Now, sadly, in your point, I can disprove your case. After you've defined evolution, obviously.
Yep.
I'll then show you a creator. Point 2 in your atheist handbook, Pillars of Atheism.
No, the 3 numpty pillars.
Yeah. Point 2. I'll take you there and take away that pillar. Yeah, you're done.
More and more religion, which will allow more and more science, and we'll eventually get to that point where religion has taken that appropriate place as a side dish rather than the main.
Yeah, side dish rather. Yeah, not even a side dish. An undefined friggin' train wreck of a dumpster fire. What evolution is. Thank you, PZ.
Of course.
But will eradicating religion really lead to a modern utopia?
Yeah.
Let me try to imagine that. And let's
do a lot of imagining here.
Let history be our guide.
Pause. This is 20 years ago. Now, if at this point I'd have said, remember America 20 years ago, that everybody will be purple hair, there'll be sanctuary cities, there'll be a massive influx of stuff, and there'll be a return to Christianity, something that's happening in mainland Europe and everything, you'd have laughed. But in those 20 years, you've seen it flip from one extreme and turn back to the other. Yeah, because of this premise. Yeah. There's a phrase in there, I'm not sure who said it. If you take away man's belief in God, he'll believe in anything. And after we believed in anything, we're now coming back and realising, finishing the cup, aren't we? We know what's at the bottom.
In part, I think Matthew Arnold put his hands on it when he spoke about the withdrawal of faith. There is a connection between a society that has at least a minimal commitment to certain kinds of transcendental values and what human beings permit themselves to do.
His eyebrows are now lower than the back of the chair. You seen that?
Yeah, he's sunk down there pretty well, yeah. What is this, Picasso? I could do this shit.
I was going to say, it could be his 8-year-old.
One to the other.
That got me thinking, what other societies have used Darwinism to trump all other authorities, including religion? As a Jew, my mind leapt to one regime in particular.
The connection between...
Wonder which one that is.
Hitler and Darwinism.
I'm thinking the Romans and the sacking of the temple in 70 AD.
Historically, a difficult connection because they were separated by
I would have said the Romans.
A good many years. One was English, one was German. Nonetheless, if you open Mein Kampf and read it, especially if you can read it in German, the correspondence between Darwinian ideas and Nazi ideas just leaps from the page. Of course, you have to add every historical caution. Not everyone who read Darwin became a Nazi. Obviously not. No one is making that case. Darwinism is not a sufficient condition for a phenomenon like Nazism, but I think it's certainly a necessary one.
Oh, good. That's a good one. So they're trying to paint it in the corner. It's easier. I understand what they're trying to do. And to your average Joe Coffee and Betty bread maker, it might hold some significance. Not for me. Just define that monkey. Stay on your previous point that were you on before. Right?
I think he's just said, kind of back to what I was saying, yeah? If you stop believing in God, you'll believe in anything. That's what he's saying. And what the premise, whether you agree with it or not, the analogy he's using is that to descend into the atrocities that the Nazis allegedly perpetrated in World War II, yeah, the fundamental first thing you've got to do is remove God, which is part of it. That ideology did remove parts of the Catholicism of Christianity and was part of the rhetoric.
Catholicism of Christianity. That I've never heard that stated that way.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't removing necessarily all of Christianity, was he? It was the Catholic element and a return. Anyway, a nuance that's irrelevant. The point he's making, I think, is in all of these things, if you're going to get people to get really fucked up, like was what I'm alluding, purple hair, gender reassignment, the first and most primary place to do is remove their belief in a creator, whoever that is, whatever it is, whether you're Jew, Christian, Muslim, or even Buddha.
And the Irish.
There's a connection.
They've got their own kind of crazy. If you speak to Brian, there's another one. So don't go there. Special.
Oh, shit.
That looks like Ireland.
American officers arrive at a Nazi institution seized by First Army troops. Under the guise of an insane asylum, this has been the headquarters for the systematic murder.
It's a bit random. I wouldn't mind hearing the rest of that.
What is this place?
During Second World War, 15,000 people were killed here.
Why were they killed?
They were killed because they were people with handicaps.
Why kill them? What's the point of killing them?
People who were not able to work, people who were not able to live by themselves, that they were useless eaters.
Useless eaters.
And life unworthy of living. This idea grew up in the 20s. So long before National Socialism, biologists, anthropologists, they thought that maybe mankind could, or the government could interfere into the growth of the population.
I see.
And they had the
Superchat.
Utopia.
Super master race.
Beautiful.
Tony Whitcomb sent, now you know where T-Jump got his slouch in S-couch look from a numpty dips hit. That was all messed up, but I kind of know what he's saying.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
That was respect to Tony, because he knew Bugger was there.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Tony.
Yeah, well done, mate.
They would have a society without illness and without handicap.
Alles Lebensschwache geht in der Natur unfehlbar zugrunde. Wir Menschen haben gegen dieses Gesetz der natürlichen Auslese in den letzten Jahrzehnten.
What? We humans have transgressed the law of natural selection in the last decades. So, see, I hadn't read that before. That's what he said? Oh boy, the law of natural the reification fallacy is now a law, according to them. That's
exactly what my thoughts.
Is this not eugenics they're applying here? So
it could be. They could be going there.
And as lovely as that is, but if we're going to indict anybody, we can't just indict the Nazis. You've got all of Victorian
Yeah,
you know what I mean. All of Western Europe were eugenicists from the late 1800s.
Yep.
Furchtbar gesündigt. Wir haben unwertes Leben nicht nur erhalten, wir haben ihm auch Vermehrung gewährt. Die Nachkommen dieser Kranken
That's pretty strong language in this. I wonder what this is.
sahen so aus. Die tiefer stehen.
Remember
als jedes
that this
Tier.
is 20 odd years ago, where the rhetoric of the Holocaust was still being underpinned in stuff, and you'd get sponsorship within a film for if you're going to put a little section in, which would highlight that. It's 20 odd years ago.
Thanks.
So this was a Darwinian concept.
Yes.
And also a Malthusian concept, very much Malthusian.
Malthusian?
Thomas Malthus, who said that there was a shortage of resources, English philosopher, so there was a
Yes,
shortage.
but the Nazi, they
English bastard.
relied on Darwin.
They relied on Darwin.
Yes, Darwin and German scientists.
Patients were led down this hallway to Nazi doctors who decided who would live and who would die.
They were accompanied by 15 nurses.
Nurses, yes.
Nurses, male and female nurses.
So nurses were helping lead them to their doom.
Yes.
15 of them.
So were the prisoners told they were taking a shower?
Yes, they were taking a shower, and here was 1 or 2 showers.
So how many people were brought into this room?
60 to 70.
So what is this?
This is the dissection table.
Do you ever think to yourself, the sane ones were the ones lying here having their brains removed? The insane one was Dr. Gorgas and all the other people
No,
did?
no, I don't think that, because I think those people who killed here, they were very sane, because they had their purposes.
They had purposes.
Yes. I don't think they were insane. They had 2 crematory ovens.
I see.
And they killed about 70 people.
A day.
So a day, so they had...
That's barely enough
and
time.
they only killed from Monday to Friday. So...
Because the people who were doing the killing needed to have the weekend off. If you met Dr. Gorgas today, what would you say to him?
I don't know. I don't think that it's my role to tell him something.
It's difficult to describe how it felt to walk through such a haunting place, to know that these cold stone and tile walls were the last things the victims of Hadamar ever saw. I wanted to explore this connection further, so I met with the author of From Darwin to Hitler, Dr. Richard Weikart.
Hitler and...
Mr. Pause.
Physician.
I think we've all been respectful there. Thank you all. This had better be a bloody good connection after that.
It was hard to listen to. Is that all validated? Is that all like proven? This is what happened?
As I said, thank you all for just being respectful and just working through that, as it's got nothing to do with the topic at hand.
Yep.
So, like I say, I hope this is going to be a bloody good connection.
Physicians that carried out this program were very fanatical Darwinists, and particularly wanted to apply Darwinism to society.
Was wir uns unter der deutschen Jugend der Zukunft wünschen, ist etwas anderes, als was die Vergangenheit sich gewünscht hat. Wir müssen einen neuen Menschen, auf das unser Volk nicht an den typischen Degenerationserscheinungen dieser neuen Zeit zugrunde geht.
Many of these people in the 19-teens, 1920s, who were putting forward some of these ideas about racism were considered the leading scientists. These were Darwinists who were taken seriously by fellow academics. It's not to say that all academics believed it.
These leading academics, were there any of them who were Americans?
There were plenty of Americans who were saying similar kinds of things.
Not only were Americans saying such things, they were pioneers in this fledgling science known as eugenics.
Oh, come on.
You satisfied?
I'll shout out, Meekin.
They thought they could help evolution along by sterilizing the so-called feeble-minded and prohibiting them from getting married.
Physicians who are aware of the history of 20th century American medicine harbor some bad feelings towards Darwinists because of eugenics. And the eugenics, which was an attempt to breed human beings, it was the darkest chapter of American medicine ever. There were 50,000 people involuntarily sterilized because they were deemed unfit to breed, basically.
Eugenics isn't just history. The spirit of the movement.
We actually still do that today. There will be court orders for people like with Downs and stuff to make sure that they're given contraception, make sure they can't get pregnant. We're a little more humane now. We don't just rip out, their ovaries, but we chemically sterilize them. Which kind of.
Well, thanks, Adam. Thanks for the addition. Appreciate it.
No, well, I don't know where this is going, but the superiority and position is bollocks
today.
Margaret Sanger was the head of Planned Parenthood. She was very fanatical in her promotion of eugenics. In fact, Planned Parenthood was all about birth control for the impoverished and lower classes to try to help improve the species.
From Hadamar, I traveled with Dr. Weikart to Dachau, where the Nazis applied the ideas of eugenics on a massive mechanistic scale. When it was a fully functioning concentration camp, and what was the purpose of it? I mean, part of it was to repress political enemies. What was the rest of the purpose?
Well, beyond the repression of the political enemies, which was its purpose at the very beginning, then later on it transformed into repressing racial enemies. And sometimes those categories overlapped because sometimes they thought that these people were political enemies because they were inferior biologically. The war itself was part of the Darwinian struggle for existence for Hitler. And he saw the extermination of the Jews as one of those fronts to this warfare going on as this Darwinian struggle for existence.
Would you say that Hitler was insane?
No, I wouldn't say he was insane. I think he had imbibed some very, very wrong ideas. And in fact, I think he took the logic of them in certain ways that brought him to take very radical solutions for them.
Stop. Like, this is the exact opposite. There's a level, isn't there, that you could say, look, don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, don't believe in evolution, kids, because it could lead you here. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not going to lead you to be a mass genocidal anti-Semite, is it? The fact that you believe in evolution. This is a very spurious. I'm lost, QE, as to.
Yeah.
I say unless it's been sponsored by the Jewish lobby in 2008, this film, and there was a necessary point to put in all this non-related stuff to do with the, which is Holocaust evidence. Yeah, I've got no problem with that, but it's got fudge all to do with it. And it's not a Holocaust channel.
They can't talk about science, Adam, so they got to do something else. Yeah?
Yeah.
I see the connections, but that's not the main.
Like I say, I'm trying to see them. That's the
Appeal to emotion.
Yeah, it is an appeal to emotion. It is. I don't know whether it's fallacious.
They could have just, but they could have just, I would say that it is because they could just define evolution.
They could.
They could just define science, natural science, as the scientific method. They could just do all of that, but instead they want to appeal to everything but that.
Yeah, you got it. That's my problem with it. Yep.
Would you say he was evil?
Oh, I'd definitely say he was evil.
Is there such a thing as evil?
Oh, I think there is.
And is there such a thing as good?
Oh, definitely.
And evil can sometimes be rationalized as science.
Oh, sure.
Evil can be rationalized as science? What? My God.
And evil can sometimes be rational when it's rationalized as science, and I think when it's rationalized in this particular way, in particular, I think Hitler thought he was doing good.
He thought he was doing good.
Oh, I think so. He thought he was benefiting. He thought he was benefiting humanity by driving evolution forward and creating a better humanity.
Before leaving Dachau, I stopped by the memorial commemorating the thousands of Jews who were killed there in excruciating conditions. I know that Darwinism does not automatically equate to Nazism. But if Darwinism inspired and justified such horrific events in the past, could it be used to rationalize similar initiatives?
Yeah, that's. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
That's not.
That was a
right.
fallacious statement right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Today,
There's a good German expression, so fängt es immer ein. I mean, it always begins in the same way. Something to remember in the context of United States discussions of euthanasia and abortion. It always begins in the same way. There seems to be an excellent argument for getting rid of useless people by killing them. Or at least it seems excellent to the people advancing the argument.
It's a love affair with death and, you know, the euthanasia and this movement going on, which I find appalling. And the idea is that, you know, immediately rid our society of anybody who might be a drain. And think of people in economic terms. And I think that's where some of the Darwin fits in, actually. It's just a devaluing of human life.
First of all, if you take seriously that evolution has to do with, you know, the transition of life
What? Does it? The evolution, what's that?
forms, and that life and death are just natural processes.
Pause. Right. There's the problem, isn't it? So if you're just going to, you want to pick evolution up and use it at this point, it means the transition of shit that already is there, not the impossibility of how you get the shit, just how it could then change. Ignoring what would be required, you know, the second pillar stuff, that, ignore that, yeah, but because that kicks you in the nuts and destroys you. But this is the critique here. You're just picking it up. A bit like Darwin. Darwin never presupposed anything before the cell. It was just after the initial cell. And that's your version, Dr. Whoever, Dr. Humanist, of evolution, which, respectfully, is incorrect. Can we pull up what evolution is, please? Because this is his problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the whole problem. That's what I've been speaking about the whole time, and for many years.
Then one gets to be liberal about abortion and euthanasia. All of those kinds of ideas seem to me follow very naturally from a Darwinian perspective, a deprivileging of human beings, basically. And I think that people who want to endorse Darwinism have to sort of take...
No, you humanist piece of shit. Not bringing us down, recognizing that life comes from the Creator. And it's given by the Creator. So to deal with the abortion, not for you to take by your will. Yeah?
This kind of viewpoint.
Once again, no. He's trying, innit? But he's not recognizing that there's an ultimate source of the morality that he's trying to stand by that he don't know where he gets it from.
Very seriously.
And when we see an elite, and it is an elite that controls essentially all the research money in science, saying
science, how you can get in? How are you getting in there?
there is no such thing as moral truth. Science will not be related to religion.
What?
I mean, it's essentially official policy of the National Academy of Science that religion and science will not be related. I mean...
Then why is Evo Tardia in there?
Hey, you know, that cuts off a lot of debate, doesn't it?
What's going to happen if this doesn't change?
Well, I think we're watching it happen, aren't we?
I needed time to think, so I traveled to the birthplace of this idea.
That looks like science right there.
That is science. You've got a test tube. That's science. Scrolls, old science.
That tweed. Was he he's smoking the tweeds?
Pause. There you see. Look. That's how it's evolution of the human race from apes. Who's won that one then? Eh? Whose story is that?
By T.W. Jones, FRS. He's one of those English passages.
We're some of the greatest storytellers that history has ever had.
It says, evolution of the human race from apes, a doctrine I can't, what the? A doctrine unsanctioned by science.
Unsanctioned?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's some kind of authority, that is, isn't it?
That throws a monkey in the wrench. Huh, interesting. Never heard of this book before. Looks like science to me.
It's some lovely glassware, isn't it? In my glass cabinet, I've got things like that.
Do you?
You know, stuff. Yeah, if you look, when I'm on camera next, I'll show you behind me. I've got some really nice glassware. I kind of still collect it, QE.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The supernatural in nature. I'd like to get my hands on that one. Evolution of man. The Down Syndrome House, the home of Charles Darwin.
You beat me. Well done.
Oh, were you going there too?
I was gonna, because I'd alluded to it earlier, not randomly, but
walk Darwin's thinking path and gardens. All right.
With savages, the weak in body or mind are soon eliminated. We civilized men, on the other hand, do our utmost to check the process of elimination. We build asylums for the imbecile, the maimed, and the sick. Thus, the weak members of civilized societies propagate their kind. No one who has attended to the breeding of domestic animals will doubt that this must be highly injurious to the race of man. Hardly anyone is so ignorant as to allow his worst animals to breed. Charles Darwin, The Descent of Man, 1871.
Ah!
Pause. I was going to say it was Churchill or somebody. I thought they were bound to stick it in as Hitler. Interesting that I didn't know that of Darwin, that he was that much of an. I know he started to hate God.
Didn't he lose a child?
Yeah, his daughter.
Yeah, that'll start it.
But that's quite telling, isn't it? That's a hatred in there, isn't there?
Isn't this a grass eater? This is a Vegisaurus.
That looks like a diplodocus, a brachiosaur. A brachiosaur!
Yeah.
It's a veggie.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like a church.
Well, pause. Because, see, that monkey's gone. Yeah? That stood there for many years. I think that's the Museum of Natural History, probably isn't it? But the one that we had, they've replaced with a real animal, a blue whale.
Really?
Cool. Yeah.
Huh. Now we got shit in evolution.
I like that. Our place in evolution.
Yeah.
You mean the thing we made up? Where do we fit in the thing we made? Well, we made it up. That's our place.
Is this the science?
Well, no, but I tell you what, this is probably before Lucy, the Australopithecine, was proved to be a load of bollocks and was just somebody's old fingernail or something. You know what I mean?
Well, they got a friggin' statue and everything. He's a pretty big guy.
There were giants in them days. Just pause. We talk about religion. Look at that.
Yep.
Idolatry.
Yeah.
Throughout the Cold War in Germany, there was this wall erected to keep ideas out. It was erected by people who held an ideology that were afraid of a competition.
Pause. Somebody give Nathan a ring. He's about to get his explanation, isn't he?
About the wall?
Yeah. He just thought it was about that one little bit. Getting a full segment devoted to Oakley as to why he criticised.
I don't know what you're talking about.
From
the analogy in the beginning of the film. You know, I know it was like 6 hours ago.
That would come into their society. And what we're seeing happening in science today.
That's some shit, Brett work. Look at all that mud seeping out. What the hell is going on here?
Come into their society.
You know where this is before? See, this is before the Germans had brought over Irish builders. We'd learned in the late 30s, bring over the Irish, they can build a wall. That's what the Germans. That's what they did together. Is that the Russians that they did? Would you be scared of that?
Whoever it is, that was a lame-looking wall.
Science today is
You
very
could
much
take a sledgehammer, right? You could take a sledgehammer to that, couldn't you? If you were on the other side of the wall in a free country, you'd have that down, wouldn't you?
You know what? Ironically, I did do that. Personally.
So did David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff wasn't there.
That. But I think that's just a strategy for protecting a failing ideology from competition.
America didn't become the great nation that it is by suppressing ideas.
America is the greatest nation in the United States, sir.
It progressed by allowing freedom of speech and freedom of inquiry. Thomas Jefferson got it right when he wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Hundreds of thousands of Americans have given their lives to protect these values, but now they're under threat once again. It wasn't just scientists who were being expelled. It was freedom itself, the very foundation of the American dream, the very foundation of America. If we allowed freedom to be expelled in science, where would it end? The Darwinian establishment is so massive and so entrenched.
Huey, and I'm asking you because it's your method. Where does it mention freedom? Or America?
I do it all in regards with America.
The American scientific method. So help me God.
It appears impenetrable.
Did you say so help me God?
Yes, sir.
Step one.
I couldn't bring it down myself, but I could at least confront those who had expelled the scientists I'd met. What would you say if you had Eugenie Scott sitting next to you? What would you say to her?
I would ask her, by what authority does she and those like her presume to declare what is and is not science?
By first, yeah, good. Okay, we're back on science. What is it? I would ask her that first.
You know, he's sort of made himself martyr.
I would say, is there any way which we could figure out whether it is science or not? Is there I don't know, what's the word? Is there a method?
I thought you were going to say American method.
American method. A double method. American method that we could apply so that we could differentiate whether things were science or not. Imagine if you had something like that.
Every time I hear the scientific method from here on out, I'm going to hear reveille.
Today, they've gotten a lot of mileage out of, poor Rick Sternberg.
And we got lip service from the leadership of the Smithsonian, but I didn't feel they ever followed through.
We went into the Smithsonian looking for answers, but we ran into the same stone wall as Congressman Souter.
We're not authorized to do this. It's a stop.
He said, nonetheless, you have to be disciplined, and I lost my job.
We did get an interview with a spokesman from George Mason, but it was impossible to knock him off his script.
Her contract was not renewed. It was simply not renewing her contract, which she's satisfied. Her contract was not renewed, had nothing to do with the controversy of that topic of intelligent design.
I have never been treated like this in my about 30 years in academia.
We received a similar reception at Baylor University. They refused to admit that what had happened to Dr. Marks had anything to do with ID.
Certainly the conversations I've had, this...
Pause for a sec. It's just a thing, like I said, I've tried to draw the analogy. Imagine if academics were now standing up, like Dr. John Dee. Yeah? Me, if I went back to Nottingham and started raging, it was flat. It'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it, to destroy us? You can see why the halls of power control stuff. This is quite telling. I know it's an indictment in evolution. You can see because we made attempts, didn't we? And back, I'm trying to draw it over what we've done, but over time, and we tried to have a go and try and put these things out there. I remember, was it Roxanne? I forget. I don't know if John Dee was there, going to a university and debating. These things will always be controlled. Okay, just a nice analogy. I think what they're drawing here is just to show how it doesn't matter how valid your point is. In terms of the authorities that are held up to us, this is how bent they are.
They have to be controlled, Adam.
This has not, the intelligent design situation has not been the thrust of the conversation. I mean, it's a procedural issue, and that's the way we dealt with it.
Funny, that's not how Dean Kelly put things in his original email to Dr. Marks.
I'm not mixing my religion with my science. The questions that I ask in my intelligent design research are perfectly legitimate scientific questions.
Why not? Can't you use your science to the term religion, but yeah, your knowledge of a creator? Can't you use it to validate that?
He doesn't know what science is.
I know, but there's nothing wrong. I know they've got problems, but I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with putting the two together. They're meant to be together. One came from the knowledge of a creator. Try and understand
what two together? What's the two? Science and what?
Science and the knowledge of a creator.
Oh, thank you.
questions.
At least the top guns at Iowa State were willing to own up to their actions.
What we wanted to stop is the use of the name of ISU to validate intelligent design elsewhere. And we did succeed.
I really think a lot of Guillermo. He's a great guy. So, I mean, that's why I'm kind of disappointed, all right, that he should have just left this alone. That's, in my opinion, he should have just left it alone.
Oh, I need you to go back 1 second to see his title. Physics and looking at stuff.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed, all right, that he should have just left this alone. That's, in my opinion, should have just left it alone.
Dr.
Left what alone?
Hauptmann elaborated further on his great regard for Gonzalez.
This is quoting an email from you to Mr. Avalos. You say, sometimes it is just best to ignore idiots, in reference to Guillermo. And then the religious nutcases should be challenged at every opportunity.
Yeah, because, for example,
like the evolutionists should be challenged. They're the religious. Is that what you mean? I'll give you...
in that case, I'm
There's
thinking
that
more
telling
of, say,
laugh.
the creationist crowd who claims that...
Creationist crowd? You're not a creationist. I beg to differ, sir. You are a creationist. Everyone is. It's the creator is the question. Yours is nature. So you're a creationist. Make no doubt about that. You dumbass cracker.
God put
Pause. Oh, I want the shot before. The shot before, and I want to allude to the word boffin. So this is a boffin, and this is why he's a boffin. Because look, he's got no concept of the world outside of the thing he's studying, and it's demonstrated by the environment he'll dwell within. Go back a couple of frames, and look at the shit God. Now, the producers think this is showing how clever he is. Oh, that's how clever he is. Shit's everywhere.
That's a lot of reading he did, Adam.
He needs an organizer.
Yes, I'm thinking more of, say, the creationist crowd who claims that God put all the animals on an ark and that's it.
Just the animals on an ark. Oh my God, are you a doofus?
God did not put the money off.
Came from today. That's
Has he not even read that bit?
No.
It was Noah that did that, mate.
No,
Come
it
on.
wasn't Noah. They walked in by themselves.
You're missing the forest through the trees. Right? He's just picking on one part of scripture. He's missing. That's not what he's talking about. This clown.
I know.
Even children know that kind of thing. So these are the...
Even children know what kind of thing?
It doesn't matter what it is. That's his indictment in the shithouse.
What a moron. Is that your physics
so
coming
basic,
out?
Even kids know.
Yeah. What a moron.
Idiots.
We expected more.
Right?
From a boffin?
Yes.
They've always been around.
Going after the perpetrators in each of these cases wasn't getting me anywhere. So I reconnected with Dr. Berlinski.
Ooh, those are some nasty looking clouds. Those are some scary looking clouds, man. SLCs.
See if they had any advice.
Where are they?
I don't know where it is. I think they're back in Paris.
Figures.
Figures. They got a wall in Paris.
They got a wall of body odor.
There's a boundary to...
They got a wall of body odor.
Ordinarily, because this is 20 years ago, I think you still maybe at the point of hairy armpits in certain regions of France with ladies. So you might have a point.
We know the difference between the greatest country in the United States of America and Europeans. The differences are we shop,
mainland Europe.
We shop once a week and shower every day, whereas Europeans, they shop every day and shower once a week.
Oh, that's bad.
Right now.
They got that's Berlin Wall-esque. That's what it looks like.
It's got to be back to the Berlin Wall, surely. Otherwise, it makes no sense. That can't be just some slum in the suburbs of Paris.
Well, they did take slabs and stuff out and shipped them, but I thought they shipped them to mainly museums. So I don't know where they're at, but
I'm thinking that big line is running up to the Brandenburg Gate that they were shaking hands on.
I would have seen this. I would have recognized it.
Look at the curvature.
I
think the parallel is exact.
Brandenburg Gate. Listen.
Fish eye, Neil. It's fish eye.
Listen.
In fact, it is. Look at the curvature on the top of that wall.
Shut up, Mr. Brandenburg Gate.
This wall coming down. Ask any Berliner on from the east side what it meant to have the wall come down. If it is possible to make a break in the wall that will allow academia to ask.
I like the play they do with the wall.
These fundamental questions that exist and allow them in the science classrooms as well.
It'd be nice to see the scientific establishment lose some of its prestige and power.
I'll bet you the scientific establishment has no scientists in it. How much you want to bet? That's what I thought.
It'd be nice to see other questions being opened up. Above all, it'd be nice to have a real...
I bet the farm.
Yeah, I bet I would too.
Criticism penetrating the sciences.
What can I do to bring down the wall? Is there anything I can do?
Make it apparent to the world that a wall exists. There are vast...
They got the umbrellas. Yeah, they know. SLCs.
Numbers of persons who talk about academic freedom. And there is academic freedom as long as you're on the correct side of the wall. But if you're on the wrong side of the wall, as we mentioned a few...
I like the boy with the kipper, yeah? He makes a good point. It's beautiful, you might say, yeah? What can I do? It's like, what can we do? We're doing what we can. All you can do is point out that the earth is flat, it's measured flat, yeah? Just like what they're doing here. Science is bent, academia is corrupt, yeah? Now, 20 years later, we can point out that they don't even know what science means. We're doing that as well. Yeah?
Nice haircut.
So you can do, son. Like I say, I like it. I liked his point.
A few moments ago, you lose tenure, and that's a given.
That was 60s. Everyone's smoking in the haircuts.
I took Dr. Schroeder's words to heart. Obviously, I couldn't.
Dr. Schroeder. I know him. I've heard that name before.
Take down the wall myself, but I could.
Ooh, that's some. You see those SLCs? You see them, Adam?
The heart. Obviously, I couldn't take down the wall myself.
That's
yeah. You see now that's not good, is it?
No, not good.
That's very imposing.
But I could confront one of its modern architects.
Is that Big Ben?
Oh, that's your big boy.
Is that Big Ben?
That's the Big Ben.
I knew it. Big Ben Roethlisberger.
There's the London Eye.
This is London?
London, baby.
It's got to be because Big Ben's in London. You been here before?
Yeah. There's Big Ben again.
Adam, you been here?
Yeah, only when I got to the statutory committee by the Royal Pharmaceutical Society. That's how I know the London Eye, because I stood literally just up the Thames. Then then you walk down to there, but that's where I stayed. Yeah, I hate London. Yeah, it's not. It's a horrible place. It's just a blob of shite, a bit like New York, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's not. There's no body that you say you're other than a Cockney, which don't exist anymore. Yeah, there's no defining characteristic. You know, like you take the piss out of Nathan because he's a Brummie, or Sleeping Murray because he's like a bin dipping.
I don't take the piss out of those guys. No,
I do. That's why I prefaced it with bin dipper. Yeah, there's reason. London's not a part of like Britain. It's just a blob. So I don't like London at all.
It just reminds me of that European vacation when he can't get around the circle and he keeps seeing Big Ben. There goes Big Ben. There goes Big Ben again.
Is that the traffic circle around there? Where's the traffic circle? Is it over this way or over on that side?
I don't know. He kept going around Big Ben.
Right.
So I'm assuming it's got to be close to the clock.
Remember, they're circling on the opposite side.
Yeah.
On a serious note, if you ever came to Britain, don't go to London. You're not experiencing Britain. You're experiencing the shit I've been moaning about. The corruption, the perversion of the modern world. It's not English. It's not British. It's just this blob of multiculturalism that is nothing.
Well, where the hell should we? Well, don't tell us where not to go. Tell us where to go.
Nottingham.
Nottingham.
I knew it. Well, from what I heard from Brian, it used to be called Shottingham.
Okay. Again, don't. That's. See, the better way to view that is what we've been led to believe, which is use the definition cultural enrichment. And we didn't always have these problems. We've been culturally enriched.
Shut up. Oh, there he is.
This is it. This is it. Yeah. This is what I remember.
This is what you remember, right?
Yeah, only because I say it's 20 years ago, and this is poignant, because back then, as a all-believing scientist, thinking that even when right, as a qualified pharmacist, if I went to the canteen, put the kettle on, made a pot noodle, that was science, because I was doing it. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that was a poignant pause for dramatic effect after the term pot noodle. So to listen to this guy who back then was in high esteem, yeah? Unless you're somebody like Huey, yeah, you sat on the throne of omnipotence and you were already got over this shit. Back then, this is really, to me, I remember watching him struggle and it being part of the convincers to me. Yeah. They don't know shit. It's like listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson today, yeah? Or Brian Cox, and when you press them on anything, they haven't got anything. You get to you're halfway down the cup, and you start sipping in to the level of experts, and you inquire at them, and there's nothing there. The last quarter of the cup's got sod all to do with science. You know what I mean? Because you exhaust the science. Because there's nothing there. There's just liars. There's the experts that have deluded, no longer use science, just chat shit. And like I say, this is one of those moments for me back then that...
Okay, great. Can we get to that moment, you think?
No, I'm having an emotional moment right now, and you just trying to brush it over. This is like therapy.
He dares to compensate for his inability to talk on Nathan's show with yours.
Yeah, that's been the case since the QE Live has started. This is a release that I've given them.
I've not seen this, and I've not watched it. And this is, I think that, considering it was only a pass-away comment after watching Dr. Tor, I think look at this. This is actually a way of awakening. It certainly was for me. I'd say before Flat Earth. And as they said, some people, the paradigm of a ball is too much to shake. But actually, and this is what got me, if you address your knowledge, what your ego and your superior knowledge, and you deal with it, I say at the bottom, God's waiting. And this is that journey that I think hopefully this has been useful for people that haven't seen this, because we talk. Who was it? Jin. What are you on about? Panspermia. Well, we're about to get to the panspermia part. We talk about shit like everybody else should know it. This is part of why we know shit, because it's stuff like this that kicked it off 20 years ago whilst QE was arguing with these fuckers. So hopefully, and I'm talking to the audience, hopefully, I know we've sat through a long bit and we're right at the end. Hopefully it's been useful if you've never heard before, but realise how as numpties got here, how relevant it is. I genuinely think this is so relevant, yeah, to me. It's like so random, but so relevant to my journey. I'm looking forward to the last 10.
Is the mango tree still there?
No. It's following the banana tree.
Now about the potato tree.
They're mythical and only found in Donegal. That's it. Put the mask on, son.
Yeah.
Hello, Professor Dawkins. How are you? I'm Ben Stein. I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You have...
Why the hell is there a pterodactyl behind him? A pterodactyl.
The P's not silent.
It's not like Ptolemy. It's pterodactyl.
Idiot Jaron for years used to say Ptolemy. I used to just shake my head. He'd do it. What a clown.
God is a psychotic delinquent invented by mad delusion.
Let's go back. We don't want to miss any of this.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You have written that God is a psychotic delinquent invented by mad, deluded people.
No, I didn't say quite that. I said something rather better than that.
Oh, well, please tell us what you said. Please tell us what you said.
Oh, you piece of crap. Look at this wild man.
Right, now, right. You said, and listen to it, right? What a wanker. No. I said something rather better than that.
Yes.
You wanker.
Yeah, he's a wanker.
Who's learned nothing, more importantly.
Oh, yeah? No, he's a wanker.
Get your humble ass sorted. Because if you said something as arrogant as that, I'm laughing, mate. Because it's not me doing the reckoning.
He's a proper wanker.
To read it from the book.
No, please.
The God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all fiction. Jealous and proud of it. A petty, unjust, unforgiving control freak. A vindictive, thirsty...
Oh, my God. This is blasphemy.
Adam's objections.
Called a fairy tale.
Yeah, fairy tale. Yeah, right. That was his indictment. That's the worst. He's not read any of the Conan the Barbarian. Sauron. Seriously, I've had the White Witch. Yeah, the Wicked Witch in the West in Oz. What are you on about, you glue sniffer? You're now in a category error, son. You thought I was going to go on there. I'm done. That's just...
We caught him with an orange in his mouth.
He's halfway to the kitchen and back.
What a wanker, right?
Notice I told you he's a proper wanker. Notice he began it by the God of the Old Testament.
I didn't catch that. That is interesting.
That's what he said.
Really, I'll tell you why, right? So
Hold on, before you do, God is the same, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I know.
I think
I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Can you smell a little Beelzebub?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my point. I smelt it earlier. There's no need to make the distinction unless you've got another God.
Cleanser, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, infanticidal, genocidal, filicidal, pestilential, megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully.
So that's what you think of God?
Yeah.
How about if people believed in a God of infinite love?
Yeah. Pause. Yeah. There you go. That's the indictment. He's done. He's finished there. There you go. Yeah. Because I like one of his creation. yeah? But that's what you think of God, yes. Yeah, so you think of him, but that's your opinion of him. So you don't deny him then. No, that's what I think of him.
I kind of feel bad because that's logged. That's going to be read right back to him.
And forgiveness and generosity, sort of like the modern day God. Why spoil it for them? Why not just let them have their fun and enjoy it?
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I write a book, people can read it if they want to. I believe that it is a liberating thing to free yourself from primitive superstition.
So religion is a primitive superstition?
I think it is, yes.
So,
that's evolution.
So you believe it's liberating to tell people that there is no God?
I think a lot of people...
Funny that we're on God. We're not talking too much about what the hell evolution is. Funny that.
People, when they give up God, feel a great sense of release and freedom.
Why do you think that? I mean, what's your data? What's your scientist? What's your data?
I think...
As scientist, what's his data? He's not a scientist. And what data? What do you mean by data, Ben? Glue sniffer.
Of letters saying that, and
there are 8 billion people in the world, Dr. Dawkins. How many letters have you had?
No, I haven't done that. That's quite true.
Professor Dawkins seemed so convinced that God doesn't exist that I wondered if he would be willing to put a number on it.
Well, it's hard to put a figure on it, but I mean...
What? I mean, this is like close to a breakdown stuff. It's like, how do you... Yeah, it's not salient in any way. And the way in which he deals with it is to talk in the third person, okay? And when people give up God, well, so there is a God to give up then, first and foremost. See, the use of language is very telling. They feel a release. A release from what? What? Do you get me?
Yep.
It's nonsensical. It's not validatable, and he's just talking about why. Why would you not want to embrace God? Why would you feel, if you can mug yourself off enough that there's no God, or it definitely is a ball, it allows that cognitive pain to go away, doesn't it? You're not dealing with the problem. In his case, I'm a bit of a wanker, and I've said things against God, and I'm screwed.
And I put it as something like, 99% against or something.
Well, how do you know it's 99% against, say, not 97%?
No, I did. You asked me to put a figure on it, and I'm not comfortable putting a figure on it. I think I just think it's very unlikely.
What? But you couldn't put a number on it?
No, of course not. No.
So it could be 49%.
Well, it would be, I mean,
Sorry. Now, when we do something in science, do we say it's like, I can say with all certainty, well, 99% certainty, that the addition of heat to what will make it boil. Do I say 99, 97? Does my honesty depend on my mitigation of the percentage level that I present to you with something that should be either proving or disproving as a scientist?
Yeah, this is like an idiot third grader asking questions to Mr. Moore.
It shows that the scientist is not dealing in science. He's now in statistics and probability already.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely, but it's quite far from 50%.
How do you know?
But it's quite far from 50%. No number, but it's quite far from it.
I don't know. I mean,
I just don't know. I just said that. Jesus.
I'm far from 50%. So's Kansas.
Put an argument in the
Toto.
Well, then who did create the heavens and the earth?
Why do you use the word who? You see, you immediately beg the question.
No, he didn't immediately beg the question. There are two ontological primitives. Either the creator did it, intelligent designer, or nature did it. So his question was right on point.
No. Because he's a wanker, Dawkins, there is a nuance within the question that you could jump on the who, yeah?
Yeah.
So, is there a creator or not? Yeah, that's the question. He's not to give him an easy out. Yeah,
you could say what.
Well, however, did you get my point?
You could say what. You could say what. What created what created the heavens and the earth? That is appropriate. Yes.
Do you agree that the heavens and the earth were created?
You could go that way. Oh my God. Yes, you could go that way too, but mine is better. It's more direct.
It always is, obviously.
Question by using the word who.
Well, then how did it get created?
Now he went to how now because Ben's a moron.
It doesn't matter. The point is, when we talk about baller rhetoric, you see how instead of like anybody that is being intellectually honest, you engage in the conversation. You don't need to find a life boy somewhere to try and get yourself out of not answering the question.
Yes.
This is what he's doing. Wanker, you see, like a baller. Yes. So what is horizontal? Well, it means the curved nature of the edge of the sphere, as I see it. Yeah. It's not honest. It's disingenuous shithousery, even in front of Einstein. Why? Because he can't actually deal with the fundamentals himself.
Yeah, but he's got Ben. He's got Ben there. Ben's gonna get him out of it. He's a wanker. He's a proper wanker, but he's got Ben, the doofus, asking him idiotic questions that are not precise. So, yeah, he's going to take that because he's a proper wanker, and he's going to try to get out of it. Yes. Shocking.
By a very slow process.
Well, how did it start?
Nobody knows how it started.
So there was a beginning. So you just admitted to a beginning. The start. Yes? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. At least you're smart enough. At least you didn't violate the second law of thermodynamics, you dumbass cracker. At least you didn't do that. What you going to say now? I don't even know. I can't remember.
We know the kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that...
Whoa! Whoa. How do we know the kind of event?
Good point. Yep.
Yeah, this is all a bullshittery. Yeah?
Yep.
We know refraction occurs.
Let's see if Ben holds him to it.
In a hailstorm, obviously.
Shut up.
What was that?
It was the origin of the first self-replicating molecule.
What?
What? Huh? That doesn't make any sense. Self-replicate. That statement right there is so stupid. For one, molecules aren't cells. Number two, you ain't getting any self-replication. That's nonsense. What does that have to do with the beginning of the universe? Because even in his religion, the beginning of life was millions and billions and billions and millions and billions of years after that. So what the hell is he? He's a proper wanker. He's going against his own religion.
With nonsense, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen to the blah, 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 blah. Listen to the rumpusing. A self-replicating molecule. What's he called? Dave? Dave, the self-replicating molecule.
Dave.
I've made 1 million Daves. The point is, we've spent this show, the majority of this film, the previous show, showing the complexity of how molecules can be put together. Yeah. Whether them be through standard chemistry, or through the majesty of life and how it denies the favorability of how chemistry works. This wanker, give him a J and listen to it. This is a baller pissing in your face. Pretending they know shit.
Kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life.
What was that?
Now he's the origin of life. He Jedi mind tricked this guy. It was on the universe. Now it's the origin of life. I missed that. He kind of substituted that in. Yeah? Did you catch that? I didn't catch it before. Go another J. Listen.
Yeah, good.
Well, how did it start?
How did what start? Let's go back. We're going back.
No, of course not.
So
No, we're going back. All right.
And I'm not comfortable putting a figure on it. I think I just think it's very unlikely.
What? But you couldn't put a number on it.
No, of course not.
So it could be 49%.
Well, it would be. I mean, I think it's unlikely, but it's quite far from 50%.
How do you know?
I don't know. I mean, I put an argument in the book.
Well, then who did create the heavens and the earth?
Okay, who did create the heavens and the earth? We're talking about creation of the universe. Yes? Everybody got that?
How do you use the word who? You see, you immediately beg the question by using the word who.
Well, then how did it get created?
Pause, yeah, pause.
Well,
so we're still on the creation of the universe. Good.
Again, I'd say, take his argument, his pathetic distraction technique away. Were the heavens and the earth created?
Yes.
End of. And take him to pillar 2.
That's yeah, true, but we're not there yet, is my point.
By a very slow process.
Well, how did it start?
Nobody knows how.
How did it start? The creation of the universe.
How it started. We know the kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life.
Change the topic. He just Jedi mind tricked him. He just put in the origin of life, which is a tear-jerking belly laugher, in place of the creation of the universe. Subtle, but change the topic. Yes?
Yeah, it's the kind of event. It's kind of like a cosmic road traffic accident. That kind of event.
No, he changed the topic.
Yeah, totally. But it's intriguing, isn't it, now? Because he's opened it up. Well, what do you mean by that? What kind of... Yeah, completely baller wanker tactics.
Yeah, but Ben didn't catch it. Ben's not on it.
What was that?
It was the origin of the first self-replicating...
Yeah, see, he's enabling. What was that? You forget the question that you asked him, Ben.
Oh, he jinxed him, hasn't he? Because it's... Yes, so... Yes, it's the origin of the first replicating. Okay, molecule. Where'd you get your freaking atoms from, pal?
Well, besides that, Adam, since you want to pull away from my point, yes.
That is your point.
No, my point is that he changed the topic midstream and Ben didn't catch on to it. Now we're on a different topic, and yes, that would be my answer. Or my question. After that. But no, change the topic, Ben. Hello, McFly.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what he's changed the topic to.
Yeah.
But look at what he's changed it to. Yeah? To another point that's a load of bollocks.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Another impossibility. This is what the early part of the show is. A self-replicating... We laughed at it, didn't we?
Yep.
Because, A, that's a nonsense. We knew what we need to get molecules to be made. It's called life.
Yeah, well, no, just to get just to get molecules, just to get matter.
Oh, that was what I was getting to. But get your own dirt. He's already begged for the dirt. You got me? Which
Ben
is the
gave it to him.
essence of the question that Stein put to him. No, get yourself replicating molecules, mate. How do you get molecules? Is what Ben Stein should be saying. Not. Maybe he will, but I don't.
No, he's not. He's being Jedi mind tricked by dumbass here. Ben's not on this. He doesn't know what he's doing.
How did that happen?
I told you we don't know.
So you have no idea how it started?
No.
How it started, how life started or the universe started. Are they two different questions? Idiot, Ben.
Nor has anybody.
Nor has any.
Is that not in your citation? Actually, that's the same full explanation of evolution. And it has to start at the beginning of everything, which includes nothing. So from Big Bang to folding proteins to life.
Yes, that's what Thomas Dobzhansky, or Theodosius Dobzhansky, that was his take on it, yes.
Yeah. So he should be elucidating one of his high priest points here.
He should be.
Pride. Yeah.
Because Theodosius is leagues above this glue sniffer.
I looked at there was third. I think he's the third pope or something, isn't he, Theodosius? There was something. It's triggered me. I've started looking into it, but I'm sure. And I was looking into it, and I'm sure he's like the third emperor that triggers part of the revolutions in the church.
Theodosius is a badass name, man. I like
it's
saying
so badass. When I heard it again in like Bible study stuff, I've heard it again, and that you see, it's triggered me.
Thanks.
See, fundamentally important.
Shut up. Look at that glue sniffer's tie. Did you see it?
Got started.
No, has
What the hell is this? What's going on here? Is that a Pakistani well lizard?
Nor has anyone else. What do you think is the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be the answer to some issues in genetics?
In genetics? What do you think are the chances? Look at this idiot.
In evolution.
It could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization...
At some earlier time and somewhere in the billions and billions and billions of galaxies. Here we go.
It could come about in the I don't give a shit. Could go to the shops, and get hit by a piano. It's kind of irrelevant to the question I was asking you. Huh?
It's because they're globetards. This is literally their problem.
Yeah, but these are the people that when you've got stuff that's backed up, they pick nuances in actual text, but then when put to the test, they start with their rebuttal with why you shouldn't believe in a creator with, well, it could. No, I don't know how it started, but after that, it could come about like this.
Yeah, we're already away from the question. We're already away from the question. We're on the second question, which he red herring fallacied away from, which is life. Now the universe already exists, and he's begging the question with the origin of life. So Ben's letting him go. So we already got a universe, right? Let's go back.
One last question. Yes, if I started my response with "it could come about with," do you think what would follow would be science?
No, I'd say you're an ass clown.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But Ben doesn't know what science. Remember, science. So how many times science? If you were drinking, every time they said science, you'd be in the hospital. Right? But he doesn't know what it is. No one's defined it the whole time.
Good point.
You might be in the hospital, you pussy.
Are you making this a drinking game, Adam?
Yeah.
This would be a perfect time
he
to...
did, and I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah, I bet you are.
You sexual deviant
you.
Intoxication deviant.
Intoxicated deviant. All right, here we go. Let's hear the story.
In evolution.
It could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved.
Pause. This is panspermia, just isn't it?
He's a glue sniffer, man. Look at him.
It could be that at some point in the time, my auntie did have bollocks, and she was my uncle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good thing that this show doesn't showcase a drinking game to every time Adam says pause.
Yeah, pause. Yeah, we could do that one time. Yeah, he's a glue sniffer. Yeah, it's already a red herring fallacy. Number 2, you're giving him a just so story you pulled out your ass. Number 3, you're just kicking the can down the road. Where'd the other civilizations come from? Where'd you get your universe? Where'd you get your dirt? You dumbass.
Hold up. I've given you molecules, self-replicating. I've still not heard how we're folding proteins.
Yep.
But we've gone straight, and this is the thing, lot. He's happy to go here and then act like a retard, just like the ballers do. Yeah? He's happy to go here because it solves the problem he's got no answer for. Well, that'll do. Alien spunk monkeys landed.
That's exactly right.
Probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very, very high level of technology. And
of technology? Where did technology come into this?
Well, the alien spunk monkeys have iPods.
Designed a form of life that they seeded onto, perhaps this planet.
Yeah, that's the panspermia. Yep.
Now, that is a possibility and an intriguing possibility.
A possibility.
A possibility. It's
Why
not
don't
only,
you prove your globe?
It's not only a possibility, Flatsy. It's an intriguing one. It's got elegance.
Well, it's also the premise of shout out to Nathan Oakley. It's the premise of scientism, isn't it?
Scientology.
But yes. Sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah, misspeak.
Yep.
I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the detail.
Actually, pause. If you're a really good Scientologist, you might get to go and transpermeate your own planet.
You could look, Ben. You could go look for the evidence. Where? Why does he need to, counselor? Shouldn't you be giving him the evidence for that? Let's hear.
Find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular.
Yeah, biochemistry. That's your huckleberry. That's why I'm here.
Oh, hold up. 1 minute, 1 hour 31 into a detailed explanation of the biochemistry, and now you're going to appeal to the shit that just has been demonstrated to undo you. Yep. This is baller rhetoric. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. You got it. Yeah.
Superchat.
Super bollocks.
Sasha sent, he is not a glue sniffer. Could be an amoeba eater.
Amoeba eater. All right. Thanks, Sasha.
Find a signature of some sort of designer.
We find us what? All right. We're going back.
For that, if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology, you might find a signature of some.
A signature, like a literal signature?
What, like the fact that
like information?
The aggregation of molecules in a specific order seems to convey information. That would that be signature? I mean, he's not actually expecting at the bottom of a DNA molecule a wet signature in pen ink saying God.
I think that's where he was going.
Where's my fish pie, Adam?
Yeah.
I think that's where he's going. Let's see what Ben does with this.
Some sort of designer.
Wait a second. Richard Dawkins thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe. But that higher...
OMG.
Yeah.
He just threw his entire ideology under the bus.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Got it.
Intelligence would itself have had to have come about by some...
other intelligence.
Explicable, ultimately explicable process. It couldn't have just jumped into existence spontaneously.
Yeah, that's correct.
You mean like your Big Bang?
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah. Sounds like he's a creationist.
Sounds like he's an idiot.
Well, he's an idiot, but he just imploded his whole ideology, like you just said. Right there. He's that stupid. He doesn't realize it.
That's the point.
So Professor Dawkins was not against intelligent design, just certain types of designers, such as God.
So the Hebrew God, the God of the Old Testament, he doesn't exist in your view?
Certainly. I mean, that would be a very unpleasant prospect.
And the Holy Trinity of the New Testament,
nothing like that.
Do you believe in any of the Hindu gods?
Shout out to Adam. Oh, he got a wry smile, Adam.
Yeah.
Like Vishnu.
How can you ask such a question?
You don't,
How
right?
could I?
Pause. Wanker.
Wanker.
But John, he
Did you
said
see that?
he said it is not God. What is other choice? What is other intelligence if it's not God? Aliens?
It's what he will deny and what he won't deny that's of interest to me, and how he'll then change the topic. What do you mean, who? He does the same thing. Give me a J.
I already did.
Thank you, sir. Then I just want to hear it, because, again, listen to what he will deny and what he won't. Why? You're an atheist, you fuck bucket. Liar. Wanker.
Flatsy, get him!
I do apologise for that language, but there are certain things
No
that make
swearing.
me emotive. Thank you. I do apologise. Now I've been reprimanded.
The hell is a fuck bucket?
It's somebody that you can see the hidden... You can smell it, can't you? Yeah? You disingenuous. Yeah? But more than that, you
said no cursing.
Shut up, Neil.
That's so important right now. You're contradicting, the whole premise of why you're standing there. Sure. When given another question where, from a conspiratorial point of view, you could invoke Satan, you recognise the power of language and will not make the same statement. Yeah, you're a shithouse, and I can smell you. Yeah, and like I said, it's part of what we've suffered over the past 20 years. This introduction to deny a creator.
But an intelligent agent, though, from what he just destroyed in his own previous ideology. This is a train wreck of an epic dumpster fire that you brought onto your paradoxical, contradictory self. You glue-sniffing idiot, you. I mean...
That's the shot in the head, isn't it?
Yeah,
when
he's done. He just did it himself.
The Holy Trinity of the New Testament.
Nothing like that.
Do you believe in any of the Hindu gods? Like Vishnu?
How can you ask such a question?
You don't, right?
How could I?
Pause. Do you see the smile?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the pause and the smile and the consideration in that. That's my takeaway from that. Genuinely. Shithouse wanker.
He contradicted himself again. He said, how could he believe in it? Remember, he said before that he was atheistic to the Hebrew God. So now you're atheistic to any God? He just contradicted himself again.
He won't respond in that context. Won't respond in that context. He changes the nuance. He stops answering directly, is what he did.
Yeah, he's brainless. He contradicts himself with every breath. This doofus. Unbelievable.
Why would I, given that I don't believe in any others?
You don't believe in the Muslim God?
No. I mean, why do you even need to ask?
Because you said you were atheistic to the Hebrew God? That's why he asked.
Well, I just wanted to be sure. So you don't believe in...
And Ben's too stupid to even remember what he said to the question previously. Not here. It was in here.
Any God anywhere.
Any God anywhere would be completely incompatible with anything.
With that, completely incompatible with anything. What?
That's a politician's answer.
It's a dumbass answer.
Under no circumstances will you raise taxes. No. Yeah. Give the answer so you don't believe in any God anywhere. Just say no. Surely you're an atheist. It's really easy if you're an atheist to answer that question, isn't it?
Listen to how he acts and what he says. Listen to this.
Any God anywhere.
Any God anywhere would be completely incompatible with anything.
You stuttering fool.
That I've said.
You see what I mean? Right. Do you believe there's a God, QE?
No, I don't believe it. I know it for absolute fact.
Fucking even better, yeah? So even if I load the question to try and, No, it's very easy. And if you're an atheist, it's just as easy. Why is it difficult for this guy?
Because he's a moron.
No, because he's got a God.
Ah, nicely done.
I'm just trying to make sure you don't believe in any God anywhere.
No.
What if after you died you ran into God? He said, "What have you been doing, Richard? I mean, what have you been doing? I've been trying to be nice to you. I gave you a multi-million-dollar paycheck over and over again with your book, and look what you did."
Bertrand Russell had that point put to him, and he said something like, "Sir."
Bertrand Russell was another moron.
Why did you take such pains to hide yourself?
But pause.
What?
Hey, it's the unintellectual pseudo twathole, frankly, that thinks they're better than God, and they think that because they can intellectualize with, again, another love of born, they can intellectualize with their peers. They think they can intellectualize with God, and they'll use a witty Victorian quip. Yep. Sir, why did you hide? You wanker, sir, is what I say to you. And you will see God will show you his arse in a very eloquent and much more witty line. Yeah? What are you doing? It shows you've not finished the cup.
Yeah.
You think you can respond like that, you idiot.
Yeah, he ain't got to the cup's not even filled yet.
Intelligent design people are right. God isn't hidden. We may even be able to encounter God through science, if we have the freedom to go there.
What? Ben is
on there, doesn't it?
Yeah, Ben's an idiot.
What could be more intriguing than that?
We take freedom for granted here in the United States.
Oh. Back on the soapbox.
I like it. We're back to America, yeah, baby.
America,
come on.
You got that right. The best country where?
And all of the United States.
Correct.
Freedom is what this country is all about. And a huge part of freedom is freedom of inquiry. But now, I'm sorry to say, freedom of inquiry in science is being suppressed.
There should be no inquiry in the science. You either got experiments validated or you don't. What's the inquiry? Define inquiry.
Science? Science? Science is the inquiry.
What?
You're inquiring as to the cause and effect. So you should be free.
Free to what?
Inquire.
Stands a wall that encircles the free sectors of this city, part of a vast system of barriers.
That's not pause. Pause. Come on. See, he's told you history's a lie. Get me back a couple of frames.
Really?
Huh? It's not a wall. It's a fence.
Yeah, I think in the beginning they had some problems right here, but that's doing it. Like I said, I was there. There definitely was a wall there.
It's a bit like that one in Mexico. Again, it's not really a wall. It's a metal fence, isn't it?
Where? Go really by the Gulf of America?
All the way across, yeah.
Part of a vast system of barriers.
There are people out there who want to keep science in a little box where...
Like what? What is science?
Can't possibly touch a higher power, cannot possibly touch God.
Those barriers cut across Germany in a gash of barbed wire, concrete, dog runs, and guard towers.
If you believe in God...
Hey, look at that. Did you recognize it? I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop. No, it's not me. Did you recognize...
I genuinely thought that you knew him. Do you know him?
No, not him. You said it earlier. You said it earlier in our discussion. Where is this?
Yeah. That'd be that Brandenburg Gate.
That's what it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That aligns with the solstice, by the way.
It does?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, you look at that and you'll see because this is part of the Sol Invictus cult. But yeah, so behind it, yeah, you'll see the sun. So when it sets, it will light that up.
Look, this is pretty badass up here, man. I didn't know it had steps up there. Huh. Well, I guess somebody's got to put the flag up.
I mean, would you build that in the middle of a field? I think that might have been. It looks like a golf course in the background.
It looks like a golf course.
So it's like the Brandenburg Gates, and that looks like Marbella, look, tower blocks and the golf course.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if it stayed. I can't remember because it's been so long. This is old. Now this video is very old. So I don't know what it looked like after. I can't remember.
I'll tell you what though. What a set of binos he's got.
That's a serious set of binos. That's 60s binos right there, boy. Just say over here.
That shit ain't got a gyro in it. That's just steadiness.
They don't have any. They don't have the SIGs.
Huh.
N looks like an N. Might be an H. C-N-A. Skank. I can't make it up.
If you believe in God, and you believe that there is an intrinsic order in the universe, and you believe that it's the role of science to try to pursue and understand better that order, you will be ostracized.
I'm frightened by this, but I'm not going to let it stop me from investigating and from speaking.
The wall cannot withstand freedom.
What I'm asking for is the freedom to follow the evidence wherever it leads.
That might have been me. You never know.
Welsh, I think is what his shirt said.
Oh, did it? Thought it said skank. This could be me. What? I was there that night and that morning.
Do you think the turtles were mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Or mutant turtles?
Thinking scientists who don't like to be.
You're not a scientist, sir.
Told what to think.
People on both sides.
I might have been there.
Of the argument, being prepared to talk.
There is no argument.
Talk and listen.
We don't want to talk or listen. There is no argument.
Above all, a willingness to keep these dialogues open.
It might allow a lot of very.
I had a bigger hammer. I had a sledge.
Good scientists to be scientists who aren't being allowed.
So did you have a bang at that sucker? Come on, tell me.
Yes. Yeah. I beat the shit out of parts of that. Well, yeah. Yes. Yep. Had a sledgehammer.
Allowed to be scientists right now.
I don't care.
Not one of these. Not this.
What the hell is that?
Some type of German thing or something with a little hammer. Like I used this hammer the other day on a little wood screw, so I wouldn't bend it. Now you should have seen me whacking at that wall, boy. What happened here? Is there legs being? What is this?
Right. If you throw a hammer like that, you're not going to take it down.
Scientists who aren't being allowed to be scientists right now.
Good.
Look, little tickle. I'm trying to fix you. I'm not trying to break you, am I? If I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You know what, love?
I don't care what they end up as being. I don't care if they end up being religious, a young Earth creationist. If
young Earth creationists,
they have fought their way through the issues.
That's the worst indictment he could come up with. I don't care what they come with, even if, they suck on Beelzebub's teeth of himself. No, young Earth creationist is what he comes up with.
Yeah. That's why I told him back in the day that. So, what do you believe? I'm a young Earth creationist because I knew it would piss him off.
And get there, I'm all for them.
And what the heck, little pieces and stuff of that asbestos wall?
Tourists, mate.
Nah,
that is.
Nah, that looks like actual. Nah, that looks like Herms. Those are Herms.
Somewhere in South Dakota, that's in a little box hanging on somebody's wall saying, the day I liberated Germany.
The day I liberated. That is so bad. Right? The day I liberated it. I got a whole bunch out in the garage. I put them in a sealed container. The parts of the wall have asbestos in them. So, you got to be careful.
I'll be knocking them down.
I think we're going to win in this struggle because truth crushed to earth.
You know why they put asbestos in a good portion or percentage of their wall, right?
Yeah, because if you try and knock it down, you'll regret it 60 years later.
No, you couldn't burn it. That's why.
Eyes again.
To find out what's true has a value all of its own. If it has additional good consequences, so be it.
That's what I was doing right there. Look at that damn thing. It's rebarred like something fierce, huh? Now, not in all parts of it, but certain, in a lot of it, yeah, it was.
Because no lie can live forever.
And I believe that science gives us one perspective on the world.
Science? What science? You don't know what science is. Shut up.
And our religious insight gives us another perspective on the world. And by putting
what the hell are these guys doing? Get a damn official hammer.
the two together, they will see more deeply and more truly.
And if we...
Well, that's a little better.
We will stand up for freedom.
Freedom is the victor.
And if we all do that, we will overcome.
Come on, bring in the Hasselhoff.
Bring in the hassle. This is a copyright strike for sure.
I've taken a first step by speaking out on this issue. But if the wall is to come down, we all have to do our part. Some of you will pay a heavy price for speaking out. You may even lose your job. I guarantee you'll get hate email. But if you don't get involved, will anyone be left to carry on this struggle? Anyone? Anyone?
All right, that's enough for the copyright.
When there's nowhere else to run, is there room for one more sun?
Is that it?
Sorry.
No,
yeah,
that's just keep going.
That song. That's the song that we were listening to at the end of there.
Ah, thank you. Yes.
I like the final analogy, if I'm going to draw it to what I've been doing. Yeah? So 10 years ago, this is 20 years ago, who's going to do it? Yeah, we might get called out for it, like by QE, who's always used the word science correctly from the day he was...
From the day I was born in America.
In America land. The American privilege and pre-understanding of American method.
Greatest country in the U.S.
That's right.
So help me God.
Right.
Hell yeah. Amen.
Oh yeah.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Damn, JL.
F-150.
Yeah. I'm running out of Americanisms. And I've lost the point.
Sure you did. That was...
No.
Did you get it back?
No, it's gone again.
Ah, good. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, take us home.
But that was fun. Oh, it's back, you see, and that's the take home. That's why I probably subconsciously forgot it. Like I said, that popped up, like, because of, like, a comment, didn't it? And you've then said, no, Adam, you're going to watch this. And we have, and I purposely didn't watch it again, so I wouldn't be a liar. And I've really enjoyed watching that.
Sure.
And outside of the critique of it being, you know, what we've done, I say the analogies I see are perfectly there. We have to, the call to arms at the end was perfect. Continue. We're a bit like the guys that have just been sacked, aren't we, from the education systems? We've got to keep ploughing on and share and know that by the time 20 years later, yeah, the point you were making will be substantiated. But just know that you're still likely to be critiqued for your vernacular by QE.
Is that all you got? Is that it?
Yeah, they're just a cheat. No. Yes.
Quantum eraser. He moves through the world with purpose and grace, destroying beliefs at steadfast pace, asking what's science and what's math. His wisdom cuts through like tempered glass. They call him QE, the quantum eraser. A master archer with bow in hand, his aim is true across the land, not just in science, but in every heart. He hits his mark with a steady heart. They call him QE, quantum eraser. It's all too easy for him when he takes the stage. With every word he states, they feel the rage. His presence alone rattles that cage. The crayon eating nupties are running out of time. They call him QE, the quantum eraser. With every swing of the cowbell, the illusion fades, and with each strike, the glow bursts, illusion degrades. QE's treatments, they cure them of their plight, guide them toward truth with all his might. They call him QE, quantum eraser. The hardest thing about being a glober is tell your daddy you're gay, oh so gay. That's why they need QE's treatment. They call him QE, quantum eraser. They call him QE, the quantum eraser.